I was born in 87.
Oh, you were born in 87, so one. Wow. Oh, man. Cincinnati Bengals off to the Super Bowl. Matt Stafford. It's almost as unbelievable as the Cincinnati Bengals are in the Super Bowl to say that Matt Stafford is the quarterback in a Super Bowl, but we have all of it set here. Cincinnati against the L.A. Rams. Wow. And they were great games.
And I never thought I would say this. The reason the Cincinnati Bengals are in the Super Bowl is because of their defense.
Uh-huh.
The defense is what did it. And I knew somebody would take the victory lap of, oh, see, you don't need to change the overtime rules.
Yep.
Okay, so I have to say this. If you thought it was stupid that we wanted to change them based off one outcome, I'm going to conversely say it's stupid for you to think we shouldn't based on one outcome.
You had the perfect example of why the system is flawed last week in the divisional round, and then this week you go, oh, wait, that's the thing you're supposed to do. Defense. Oh, yeah, you're supposed to play defense.
Oh, yeah, teams still do that.
That's the thing. The Cincinnati Bengals did what the Buffalo Bills could not. And that was rattle Patrick Mahomes, who had a god-awful second half.
He was terrible. He was 7 of 20 in the second half.
Yeah, he was darn near perfect throughout the first half. He only had like 2 incomplete passes and thrown for 3 touchdowns and all that. We were talking about it at halftime during our live stream reactions, which went wonderfully. We appreciate everybody who tuned in for that at thesportsocracy.com. By the way, click on that live video link, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. But, we talked about how perfect Patrick Mahomes was, and in the second half, Cincinnati and their defensive scheme just befuddled him.
I often say if you'll show me the quarterback's box score, I can tell you how a game went.
Mm-hmm.
This is one time I couldn't have done that.
Right.
If you had told me Joe Burrow was going to throw for 250, 2 touchdowns and a pick, I would have said, oh, well, it was a fun run.
Mm-hmm.
But there is something about that kid, and you saw it yesterday on the biggest stage there is. He out-Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
What we are so used to seeing Patrick Mahomes do is the pocket breaks down, you can't tackle him, and there he goes, just squirts out for the first down. Bro did it twice.
Right.
And the thing I have said about Patrick Mahomes that will eventually get him, got him.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot spin around behind the offensive line and not expect that somebody's going to ring your bell eventually.
And he loves to do it so much. It's playing into that. This is all the criticism that we lobbed at him at the beginning of the season when they were having so many troubles, and he's relying on that magic man routine, holding on to the ball forever. And you got to give Cincinnati credit for that, for making it difficult for him. That second half game plan was just brilliant. And I don't know that I've ever seen a quarterback in NFL history that the less pressure you bring against him, the harder it is on him.
Well, I could argue there have been a few of those. The thing that Cincinnati did so well yesterday was make the timely play.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse Bates, play of the year. The play on the pass in overtime that wound up being intercepted is one of the best pass defenses I think I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're here. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to the Super Bowl.
Yes, they are.
No matter how many times I say that, it's going to sound weird to me.
27-24, they take down the the Kansas City Chiefs, 4 straight AFC Championship games, and now you're looking at a 2-2 record in those AFC Championship games and only one Super Bowl win.
Yeah, so now in the Pat Mahomes era, in the rookie deal era, he won 1 Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you got to be prepared for. And I'm saying that directly to Cincinnati Bengals fans. Do not think that just because you have Joe, that this is let the good times roll. This is going to be the hardest decade in the history of this league to get to Super Bowls.
Especially if you're in the AFC.
Oh, yeah, if you're in the NFC, everybody seems to not want to play anymore.
Right. It's phenomenal. It's a great feeling. Cincinnati Bengals fans reporting everywhere. I'm not crying. You're crying. And you know what? You go ahead and cry.
It was fantastic. I'm going to say this. NFL, get your schedule right. All right? Because you didn't do that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City, Cincinnati should have been the late game.
Should have.
I don't care how you rotate this. I don't care. That's kind of like the Rams being the road team in their own home stadium. That's stupid. Okay? Can we stop doing that?
You have to switch off every year.
No, you don't.
AFC
you
gets
don't.
home
This is
field.
like, I always say this to baseball. It's like the stupid uniforms that baseball would put out for the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
Just put them in their own uniforms. We get it. We understand completely. But Kansas City, I felt like yesterday was the first game was just a roller coaster. And the second game was just buh.
Yeah.
It was just bland as all get out.
I mean, the end was good. The end was good after, Los Angeles making the comeback.
For me because I started live betting the Rams, and I just kept clicking the button. I don't even know how many times I eventually bet it, but it was a lot.
Right. Again, just like in the Tampa game, who's got Cooper Kupp? You got him. I got no. Oh, there he goes. Touchdown. 2 touchdowns yesterday for Cooper Kupp. He's amazing.
And later this week, we will have a montage for Cincinnati Bengals fans. All of our just
awful takes,
brutally bad takes on Cincinnati.
Oh, my goodness. At the beginning of the season, we're talking about how this is going to be a 2-3 win
wins.
team.
Between the two of us combined, 3 wins.
Yeah.
Do you know what their odds? I said this on a live stream last night. Do you know what their odds were to make the Super Bowl?
No clue.
Make it.
So
not
just
win it.
Just
make it.
Win the AFC.
They were plus 15,000.
That's unbelievable.
There were 2 teams in the NFL that had longer odds. And it was the Lions and the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
The Jaguars weren't one of them.
Mm-hmm. And the Cincinnati Bengals were the team with the least amount of bets put on them at the beginning of the season to win
and
it.
You knew, I knew last night. I said it in the live stream. I guarantee you're going to start seeing some bettor in Cincinnati put $50 on the Bengals and now has $1 billion.
Yeah.
And some casino just had to sell the tiles from the bathroom to pay it off.
But think about that for a second. More people thought, or at least had enough faith in the Houston Texans to put bets on them that they were going to win the Super Bowl rather than the Cincinnati Bengals. And here the Bengals are sitting in the championship game. They are going to the Super Bowl in L.A. to face the Rams. And so that brings up the question, is this the greatest underdog story ever?
I'm going to say ever. I've looked all day. I have tried my best to find one.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's a great story with Joe Burrow, missing out on most of the season last year with the ACL. He does the recovery. Remember at the beginning of the season too, we were all talking about, I wonder if he's got the confidence in the knee that he's going to go out there and he's going to be scared. Remember there were reports coming out of spring training camp that he was a little timid. And that was the big narrative, was can Joe shake it off and come back? And then he comes back and has a historic season with his new favorite target, Jamar Chase, who we all said they should have drafted Penei Sewell rather than drafted a wide receiver in the top 5.
Oh, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you, at halftime yesterday, that was looking real like I was accurate.
Right. And then you just go step by step as they continue to win. A month ago, they pulled off the upset against Kansas City. That was the moment that made me believe, I think these guys do have a shot. Now, do I think they're going to be able to come back and beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs? No, I didn't. Didn't believe they were going to do it yesterday. I told you I thought they'd keep it close, but I didn't think they could win it. And now they're in the Super Bowl. The only thing to me that comes close is the St. Louis Rams from '99.
There are 3. Right, there are 3 potential answers, and I feel like people have revisionist history with every one of them.
Okay.
The '99 Rams were supposed to be good. They weren't supposed to be good with Kurt Warner.
Right. They were supposed to be good with Trent Greene. Right.
That team was still supposed to be good.
Right. But they were a last place team the year before. They were like 4-12.
And then they gave the big money deal to Trent Greene.
Mm-hmm.
Dick Vermeil's there. There were things in place there for that team to be good. I'm not sitting here telling you that anybody thought they were going to win the Super Bowl, but nobody thought they were going to win 2 games either.
No. And they definitely didn't think that you were going to win the Super Bowl after Trent Greene gets hurt and Kurt Warner comes in, off the shelf, unknown dude from the Arena League and the local grocery store.
Yeah, he was working at a lesser grocery store. He did not work at Ingles.
Has that movie come out yet?
I don't know, and I don't care.
Okay.
They don't use real NFL uniforms, so I'm just in protest. I refuse to watch it. If you're going to tell an NFL story, spend the money.
Yes.
All right, go get the real jerseys. Okay, don't make this look like a movie off of Wish.
Agreed. But that's the only thing close to me.
Well, there are a couple more, and
they're
Patton, let's see, who said this? I lost track of who said it. I know somebody. Adam Black. Brady's first year, 0-1.
Mm-hmm.
There's revisionist history there, too, because that team was not bad. They had not been particularly good, but they still had Drew Bledsoe. The division was in tremendous flux.
Mm-hmm.
Because Parcells had just been with the Jets for a couple years. He had stepped down, and now you have this. Just whatever this is. The one that I look at and go, and maybe this is why I love this. I have grown to love this Bengals team. I have adopted them as my own. We are doing a Super Bowl festivity. I fully plan on wearing Bengals garb to this.
Indeed.
Thanks to Scott Cutshaw.
Yep, me too.
The only lifelong Bengal fan I've ever actually met.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot in our comments, but I've only ever met one.
Right.
It's the 69 Jets. That's the only one that comes close in NFL history.
Now, were they projected to be god-awful at the beginning of the year?
They were an NFL team. They had when the league merged, they were in the lesser league.
Right.
And then Joe Willie Namath shows up and leads them to a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And the comparisons between these two are insane.
Okay.
Because Joe Burrow kind of reminds me of Joe Namath.
Highly overrated.
I will slap you.
Highly overrated quarterback from the SEC? That doesn't sound like Joe Burrow.
I will fight you on camera, and you won't like how it goes. He's just got that air about him.
Right.
The cigar thing.
Yeah.
Did you hear his answer when they asked him about his chain yesterday?
No.
They asked him if his chain was real diamonds, and he said, "I make too much money for fake."
Heck yeah.
And I want to be best friends with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow and I could do karate in the garage, no doubt.
Right.
But that's what this reminds me of. A team that had no shot from every angle. Any way you look at this, you could not possibly have thought this was going to happen. And here you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to level with it. I'm obviously not making a pick a week and a half before the game. But I'm not going to lie to you. I see a path that they win it. And I think it's a pretty strong path.
Could be.
They were the most impressive team I saw yesterday. It wasn't all that close.
Mm-hmm.
That second half is the best gear I've seen any team that was left yesterday have.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And in the next segment, we're going to talk about what happened to Kansas City. But this is Cincinnati Bengal time.
Indeed. I wish I knew how to icky shuffle.
In the year of the Tiger King, we saw a tiger. Now we're seeing another tiger, and that tiger might win a Super Bowl.
For the first time since 1988, the Cincinnati Bengals go into the Super Bowl. And the question that remains after yesterday's comeback victory over the Kansas City Chiefs, what happened? What happened to Patrick Mahomes? He had a Herculean effort in the first half. And then the second half, Cincinnati made him look like he completely forgot how to play football. We'll talk about what changed up next right here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, a dry start to February for us. Our temperatures in the mid-20s for tonight. Sunshine Tuesday, high 50. A nice little uphill climb here for the midweek forecast in Asheville. By Thursday, we're talking 57 degrees and some rain coming into the forecast for late week Thursday and Friday. Heaviest rain late Thursday night, but our numbers are going to be so warm it'll all be liquid for us. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by DuckDuckGo. Protect your privacy for free with DuckDuckGo.
I feel like I'm being haunted by a pair of headphones. Everywhere I go is a creepy ad for headphones I looked at one time. I hate that feeling like I'm being watched. I downloaded DuckDuckGo and saw a difference right away. Take back your privacy online with DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Hey folks, DG here asking you to give yourself the gift of Asheville smiles here in 2022. Studies have linked untreated gum disease to heart disease, erectile dysfunction, systemic diseases, premature birth, joint issues, and much more. Everything is connected. And seeing a dentist every 6 months is important for your overall health. For top-notch dental care from Dr. Rebecca Merrill here in Asheville, call 828-251-2426 or AshevilleSmiles.com.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
QC Kinetics provided amazing pain relief for a former professional baseball player, and you have access to the same life-changing treatments as retired Braves pitcher Jose Alvarez.
I put a lot of stress and strain and work on my right arm, but my right elbow took most of the damage with 3 surgeries.
Arthritis developed and the pain was unbearable.
It wasn't just pain when I was trying to play sports. It was anytime I was moving the right elbow. It was pretty excruciating at times.
That's when Jose discovered QC Kinetics and the regenerative treatments that help the body heal itself, restoring damaged tissue and providing relief with no surgery or downtime. Jose's message to the medical professionals at QC Kinetics?
My elbow is feeling outstanding. Where were you 10 years ago, for crying out loud?
QC Kinetics is right here. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 826-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517.
Blitz that holiday debt and get a grand in your hand.
I just won $1,000.
Listen every hour from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. weekdays for your chance to win $1,000. Happening now.
Make this Valentine's Day sweet with Allen's Jewelry and Pawn. Find diamond earrings from only $19.95. All diamond solitaires, engagement rings, and anniversary bands are 20 to 50% off. Heart-shaped and select jewelry also up to 50% off. Now through Valentine's Day. Allen's Jewelry and Pawn.
You know your closet well, but what does it sound like? Yes, your closet. Does it whisper your taste? Does it scream your taste? The new Stitch Fix Freestyle, your personalized store, gets to know your unique style and fit. Its selection transforms to show you only the looks and trends you'll love. With a store that evolves alongside your taste, your closet will scream, "So you," without actually screaming. Introducing Stitch Fix Freestyle for women and men, your personalized store. We're so you.
Sometimes it's the little victories that mean the most. At Ingalls, we know there's no one you'd rather share those miniature memorable moments with than family. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
This week at Ingalls, select sizes and varieties Cheez-It crackers, 2 for $6. Select sizes and varieties Dunkin' Bag or K-Cup coffee, $4.98 each. And select sizes and varieties General Mills cereal, 2 for $5. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cott? Right you are.
ESPN Asheville, Tank Spencer, and Jeremy Greene with you. You are in the Sportsocracy. Don't forget to check us out at thesportsocracy.com. Click on that live video link. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and you can join the House of Reprehensibles, where it is decided. We have this very cool new gavel that our wonderful listener Clay sent us.
It's the first producer ever of this show, Classic Clay.
That's right. Classic Clay sent us, and it's personalized. The Sportsocracy House of Reprehensibles in gold all around it. You can see it on the YouTube stream right now, and it's it's official. It's official.
It's pretty sweet. I'm going to be honest with you. We've gotten some cool gifts over the time of doing this. That's one of the coolest ones.
It is. So thank you, Clay, for that.
This morning.
And yeah, sure, we will accept. We will accept your gift.
Oh, totally.
I mean, shameless plug here.
And I'm not gonna lie, it gave me an excuse to make a Creed opener.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, I made a TikTok video. A court is in session.
And he was making it when I got in here this morning, and it just kept playing over and over. And I went, "Wait a minute, is your computer broken, or is this a new type of torture? You're just getting.
Yes, I'm not gonna lie. I was doing it to annoy you.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I mean, I felt like
Plus,
I felt
really
like
like the open to that song.
I felt like that open of or that episode of the Drew Carey Show where they were all inside Drew's house and they kept playing Panama by Van Halen outside.
Well, look, I mean, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Creed is one of the most underrated bands of my lifetime. In the happy hour today, we will discuss the most overrated bands of all time.
And y'all are going to want to tune in for this because we're going to fight.
Oh, yeah, and we're going to make a 16-team bracket of the most overrated bands. Because I'm not going to lie, once we threw this question out, I realized there are way, way more than I thought. Somebody said the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I went, I hadn't even thought of that, and you are so right.
True. Very true. So we'll do overrated
Somebody just yelled
bands.
at the radio when I said that. That won't be the one that I say that annoys you the most.
No, it won't be. By a long shot.
I thought Sports Freak Brian Hall was ready to fight me.
He was.
Earlier.
He was ready to fight you. So we will have a Musicocracy Monday in the web-only hour, the third happy hour of the program, only available online on YouTube, thesportsocracy.com. The Kansas City Chiefs folded like a cheap lawn chair yesterday in the second half against the Cincinnati Bengals, 27-24. Again, Bengals are going to the Super Bowl. Still feels weird to say, but it's true. But it's weirder to say that Patrick Mahomes failed. I mean, we're just not used to that. We were all shocked by the Super Bowl last year. I'm a Tampa Bay fan here, and I was as shocked as anybody that that Tampa was able to shut them down offensively the way that they were in that 31-9 loss.
Here's the thing I can't wrap my head around.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this so shocking to people? I cannot for the life of me figure this out.
It's because you didn't think Cincinnati could do it. You didn't think that they had the horses on defense to be able to take Tyreek Hill out of the game, to take Travis Kelce out of the game.
But that's not what I asked. What I asked is, why is it so shocking that Pat Mahomes had a bad half? There's this narrative that he's just infallible.
Right.
No, he's not. I've heard Dan Patrick, he did a loop on Jordan. People have this thought that Michael Jordan played for 6 years and he never missed a game winner.
Right.
It's not true. It's flat out, patently false.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, I'm kind of shocked it didn't happen before now. And it raises a question with me for Patrick Mahomes. He has some really bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, categorically terrible habits.
Mm-hmm.
And I could make the argument that his success has played into them. We never – look, I've been doing the draft this is now my 11th year.
Mm-hmm.
I never said the term arm angle before Pat Mahomes. Ever. I never said it one time. I'd never even heard it before. And there's a reason for that, because it's incredibly hard to be accurate that way. I've never seen a quarterback that could just turn their back to the line of scrimmage and bail out and slip away. If you keep tempting fate like that, eventually somebody's going to get you. I said that on this show last week. I did not think it would be the Cincinnati Bengals. I thought it would be the LA Rams. Aaron Donald comes up the middle. He does that spin around and just gets lit up. Well, it did happen, and it happened with Trey Hendrickson. And I'm telling you right now, he was not the same after that. I think it was in the late third quarter, maybe the beginning of the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
He does the spin around thing, and he turned the wrong direction, and there was Trey Hendrickson to knock his block off. This shouldn't be that surprising. I think Tom Brady broke our brains. He was in the AFC Championship game, the Super Bowl, so many years in a row that you just don't think these people can lose.
Mm-hmm.
It's not true. And it's going to happen a lot. And now that he is going to get exponentially more expensive, I hate to break this to Kansas City Chiefs fans, the best team you will ever see him have is now past present.
It was last year's?
Oh, it's not going to be when he's making $50 million on a $200-something million salary cap.
Right.
That's not how this is going to work. But, I mean, if you're really honest with yourself about Kansas City, they can't run to save their lives. Okay, they had a couple good games. One against a Pittsburgh Steelers team that looked like it was on its last limbs. But at the end of the day, you're counting on Jerick McKinnon. You can't miss on draft picks like Clyde Edwards-Helaire and not assume that it's eventually going to catch you.
Right.
I think they hit on Nick Bolton. The team's still in great shape. But you got to know this is about to get exponentially more difficult for you. That Bills team is good, and they're going to be good for a long time.
Yep.
This Cincinnati Bengal team, they're 2 years behind you, 3 years behind you, actually, with the option year, and they're in the Super Bowl right now. I haven't even mentioned New England, Tennessee, Baltimore.
L.A.
That was the one I was sitting there going, I don't want to say that one. I don't want that to, but it counts.
Of course.
And you have to understand that there's going to have to be an evolution of Pat Mahomes. I know he's been otherworldly. He has done things that do not make a whole lot of sense. And he's gotten by with it for a ridiculously long time. Well, yesterday he didn't. All of those things came to roost at one time.
Yep. I mean, I would say they, of course, they all culminated in yesterday's loss. But we saw shades of it in the early going of the season. When he was having all of his problems, he was throwing all the interceptions. We talked about it, of what defenses are doing to figure him out. And then they made the return, and they won a whole bunch of games in a row, and they climbed back to the top of the AFC, and we went, okay, everything's fine. But then yesterday, it was right back to what we were seeing earlier in the season. Patrick Mahomes threw 2 interceptions in the second half. They're not bringing as much pressure. I mean, I get that Patrick Mahomes made a whole lot of bad decisions, held on to the ball too long, turning his back to the offensive line, all that kind of stuff. But that offensive line wasn't good either. I mean, they were sending 3 with pressure with a spy, and then they were dropping everybody else back, and it just took so long for the plays to develop that by the time he found somebody, or there was anybody to be found most of the time, he was already engulfed in the pressure.
It was a brilliant scheme in the second half by Cincinnati.
Right.
And I'm not going to lie, I think you basically tipped off exactly how to defend Pat Mahomes. All I have to do is collapse the pocket on you because I know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
I have 4 years of evidence here of exactly what you're going to do. And it's what they did. Because the one thing I haven't heard anybody say, how many delayed blitzers did Cincinnati send yesterday?
There were a few.
It was a ton. They didn't always get home. But they would send that initial surge. There would be, whether it was a spy, whether it was a linebacker in zone, whatever the case may be.
Corners. They sent corners several times.
Somebody was just sitting there waiting to barrel down on him.
Yep.
And it's a brilliant game plan. And look, I'm not trying to slight Pat Mahomes because that would be a fool's errand. He's been fantastic. He's going to continue to be fantastic. You just need to understand the terms of this game change exponentially next year. Because now your ability to go get a Melvin Ingram, good luck with that. Tyrann Mathieu, good luck with that.
Yeah.
You have one player that's going to account for 25% of your salary cap. So you better keep drafting guys like Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith, and they were tremendous. They had one of the best draft classes in the league this year.
You got to be in that market.
Have to.
You got to be in that market like Tampa Bay was. You got to be in the market of trying to find guys who want to win now and are going to come and are going to come sign for cheap.
And you're losing a lot of guys in your front office. This is the one way that I've always said the NFL has a competitive balance that is second to none. Because good teams get picked apart in no time. Coordinators, front office guys, scouts, they all get elevated because they want the secret sauce that you have. Kansas City just lost a front office guy that took a GM job, had another one interview. I'm not in any way sitting here telling you that this is the end of the Kansas City Chiefs. I've heard some of that, and that's absolutely insane. But, I mean, you do have to look at the fact Andy Reid's getting older. Andy Reid's getting older. The front office is getting picked on. The coaching staff has been picked apart a few times. It's going to get harder. And Andy Reid had a history of doing this well before he ever came to Kansas City. Andy Reid, before Pat Mahomes, was considered the guy that could never win the big game.
Yep.
And I feel like people forget that, and I don't know why.
Well, we forgot it because it's recency bias.
But it's recency. Okay, so be real honest about recency bias. You had been here before you lost to a Bengals team yesterday that hadn't.
Mm-hmm.
Year before, demolished in the Super Bowl.
Right.
We're down by $1 billion the year before in the AFC Championship game. You just had Mahomes bring you back.
Right.
Year before that, you lose in the AFC Championship game. Am I the only one starting to think that the Super Bowl was the aberration for Andy Reid? Not all of the other things.
Well, I mean, it obviously appears to be that way. But I think we were all just hoping. We were all just hoping that this was how it goes now.
We have our first one of these of the day.
I'm your huckleberry.
Rob Johnson, can we talk about the decision to not kick the field goal before half? The Chiefs are way too cocky. That's exactly what I'm trying. That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It is one thing, and this is going to be a slightly strange comparison. The NFL is a lot like teenagers. Teenagers do things, and when they get by with it, they'll start doing more things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you let them get by with things for just day after week after month, by the end of it, you got a kid making less than ideal decisions here. And I started seeing a lot of that in Kansas City. That's why I thought they were going to lose to Buffalo. Because I thought Buffalo was hungrier, and eventually your luck's just going to run out. I think Kansas City's going to have to take a long introspective look at themselves and just go, we're not – we're still a heavyweight for sure.
Yeah.
But we're not Mike Tyson anymore.
No, we're not head and shoulders above everybody
This is not
else.
we just kill everybody we get in the ring with. Now there's a whole crop of young teams that are in better financial shape than you.
I don't understand. I wish I could have gotten into the mind of Andy Reid to figure out what he was thinking. At the end of the half,
he trusts Pat Mahomes. That's I can tell you exactly what
I
he's
understand
thinking.
that, but you have to put points on the board there. You can't take the risk.
But that's not what he's thinking about. You got to understand, they're up by a ton. 11.
Yeah. You're 21.
But I have Pat Mahomes and I get the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I just assume he's going to score. At that time, I think, had they punted one time?
Mm-hmm.
I think they punted one time. So I get the ball back. I'm not overly worried about it. But I know this can be a kill shot. And I trust Pat Mahomes to such a point that I just know he's going to do it. As soon as the pass interference happened in the end zone, they got the ball on the 1 yard line. What was your first thought?
Oh, they're going to score.
They're going to score right here.
Yeah. But guess what? They didn't. They didn't get it in, and it was bad management at the end of the game.
And this is just like every heavyweight fighter you can ever imagine. They were scared of nothing until they were. And as soon as they were, the decline tended to be rather precipitous. And I'm not saying it's going to happen to Kansas City.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
During yesterday's game, as it's apropos that we were talking about that last possession before halftime because halftime did not go well. We were doing a live stream, so we didn't see the halftime show or the attempt at a halftime show that CBS did. Have you seen the replays of this?
Absolutely, I have.
Oh my gosh! So, Walker Hayes was the guy doing he was the Applebee's Oreo shake
really
song.
Annoying song.
Awful song. That guy was doing the halftime show, and I don't know. I mean, somebody's losing their job today. Somebody somewhere is losing their job, whether it be with CBS or whether it be with the Kansas City Chiefs on-field staff or the promoters of the halftime show, whoever. Somebody losing their job today because they looked bad on television. They had one of the double-stack speakers right behind
it was comically bad.
Right behind the commentators who were trying to do a halftime show, and they're just trying to shout and scream over the music while it's going on.
Boomer Esiason looked real over it. I mean, in no time.
I would have been Rodney Harrison over it.
He looked at Nate Burleson at one point and just said, I can't hear anything you're saying.
I don't know what you just said, but you're probably wrong.
The crazy thing is that's not the only technical snafu they had in this game.
No, they didn't. The national anthem didn't go well either.
It actually wound up pretty cool because the whole stadium sang it.
That's true. That's true.
Cool.
But yeah, it was a lot of unpreparedness going on for that halftime show and for the pregame festivities as well. With who was it that was singing the national anthem? Ashanti. So Ashanti was singing, and the mic kept going in and out. And, Arrowhead's a very loud place, and everybody just chimed in and started singing along with her. So it was great. It was kind of one of those Mo Cheeks memories.
I told you last week that yesterday may have been the last time you ever hear Troy Aikman and Joe Buck call a game together.
Yes.
Well, apparently Troy now has another calling. He's making his own light beer. He started his own light beer company, and it's in the can, surprise, surprise, is in Dallas Cowboy colors.
Of course it is.
There's a little stripe right down it. You want to take a stab at what it's called? It's the most... I guarantee if you say 3 words, it will be one of the first things that comes to your mind.
Dynasty beer.
Nope. Think about Troy specifically.
I don't know.
8.
Oh, gosh.
The name of the beer is 8.
It's just 8.
It is the most basic looking can you have ever seen. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of want one.
Why?
Okay, because I like beer.
You like collectibles?
I want to know what that tastes like.
Okay. But is it, does he own the company? Is this like the Aikman brewing company, or is this through like Lone Star Beer or something?
This is actually his own company. He's got his own brewery that's pushing this out.
Good for him.
Been working on it for 2 years, and it is being pushed as a light beer brewed for those who never settle. Which means that Cowboys fans can't drink it because they always settle.
Oh, no.
I told that whole story just for that joke.
Just
that
to
is
tell the joke.
Only reason I told that story.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
Poor Cowboy fans.
Gosh.
Cowboy
fans just can't wait for the uprising. At some point, one of these days, they're going to get back, and we're all going to be sorry for it because they'll never stop. They haven't stopped despite the fact that they've sucked since 1993 or 96 or whatever that was. And they'll just never stop. Totally insufferable. As we work our way through to the offseason here, we're all excited about the Super Bowl and stuff, but we got other teams that ain't got nothing to play for except for head coaches. They're trying to find some head coaches. We had Nathaniel Hackett hired to Denver. Matt Eberflus goes to Chicago. And then yesterday, or no, I guess it was Saturday, the New York Giants got Brian Daboll from the Buffalo Bills.
I am still dumbfounded that is the job he took.
Why?
I heard from Jump Street he was the preferred option in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Now, walk this back. Now the Miami Dolphins are all in on Jim Harbaugh. What does that tell you? They thought Brian Daboll was taking their job too.
Okay.
I wasn't hearing this from the birds and the squirrels. Brian Daboll actually made the decision. I would rather be with the Giants. And I struggled to figure out why. I know he trusts the GM.
Mm-hmm.
They were together in Buffalo. And I don't remember how to pronounce his name.
Shane. Joe Shane.
Joe Shane. I wanted to call him Scone.
Scoin.
But I still look at it and go, okay, you could have had Tua Tagovailoa or Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
You could have had Miami's defense or the Giants' defense. You could have been in Miami. You could have been in New York. All of these things lend to why would you not take the job in South Beach?
Maybe he's just comfortable in New York. He likes being in the state. He loves the tax rates, all that kind of stuff. I mean, what's not to love?
I'll be honest with you. I don't think the New York Giants could have hired a coach that I would have been happier with than this one.
Okay. Because offense is the biggest thing that they need help with?
Can we stop doing these drive-up videos? Have you seen this?
One with U.S. Airways?
Yeah. So he pulls his truck in, and it looks like something out of Yellowstone. Like he just jumps out. Like, time to go to work. I don't need you to walk me through the facility, okay? I don't need to know what your walk to work looks like. If you could just come up there and go, yeah, Giants. Woo. Plenty for me.
Right.
But Giants fans should be ecstatic about this. I never thought, with the state of that roster where Dave Gettleman left it,
mm-hmm.
that you would be able to get a coach this talented.
Well, I understand why somebody would want to be there. Because
it's the biggest media market in the world.
Right. But it's aside from the media market. It's just, it is a franchise that has a history of winning. And I get that they're not,
long time ago.
I get it was a long time ago. But
hasn't been nearly as consistent as you think either.
Right. But they put themselves in a position to win. I mean, the Mara family has these ebbs and flows.
Yeah, really the only difference between the Jets and the Giants is the Giants' helmet doesn't look like it came out of a pinball machine.
Okay.
They're very shiny. I love my team, but, man, our helmets are shiny.
But the Giants win. I mean, they win Super Bowls. You guys don't do that.
Got lucky a couple times.
Got lucky, yeah.
Tom Brady. I don't know. I love my chances against him.
No, and I get why you would want to be there. I mean, they're gonna take swings.
When you have 2 top 10 picks, you got a quarterback in Daniel Jones that is not irrevocably broken. He's not. I will argue with you about this until my dying day, solely because I know how bleak the quarterback market is.
Look, I'm not saying he's irrevocably broken. I'm just saying he's a very, very flawed quarterback who, Ryan Daboll's saying all the right things right now. He's saying all the right things of we're gonna build an offense that's suited to his skills. Hopefully that's not fumbling the ball every other possession. And we're gonna build around him to what works best. I was reading he was talking about how he went to Daniel Jones and said, "Hey, I need you to. Why don't you send me some of the schemes that you've been doing over the last 4 years and what you're familiar with, and I'll see if we can, or what you like to do, and we'll try to work it into the playbook."
I need you to understand what I'm getting ready to say. Brian Daboll just looked at 2 situations and chose Daniel Jones over Tua Tagovailoa. That should tell you everything you need to know. Because you've been a huge Tua supporter. He's turned a corner. A guy that's forgotten more about quarterback play in this league than either of us will ever know just looked at it and went, nope, I'm good with Daniel Jones. Because you're not taking that job under the pretense of I'm going to draft one of you. I've heard that a bunch of times too. That's not exactly how this would have gone. He's going into this knowing we're still pretty committed to Daniel Jones. Now, if it goes terribly in the first year, then, okay, I got a whole new set of problems.
Right.
But at the end of the day, this was choosing Daniel Jones over Tua. There's no other way to look at this. The ownership groups are reasonably close. I mean, I think the Mara family is better liked.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
They worry
was maybe
about a lot of things that don't make any sense to me. John Mara's been one of the loudest about taunting and things like that. And it's gotten to a point where some people in league circles look at him and go, okay, we understand you're 9 billion years old, but okay, stop. You keep bringing these things up and you have such a voice in the room that it winds up down a rabbit hole and we're doing $10,000 fines for people throwing up a peace sign. Calm down.
I mean, I think the ceiling is higher. If I'm looking at it from a job standpoint,
the other
with
thing
New York than it is with Miami.
Well, for one very simple reason. Look at the division. If you go to Miami, I'm looking up at Buffalo, and they seem to be quite a ways away from me. New England, they're right here with us. And the Jets?
And the Jets are trying to sneak up on us.
I don't know what they are. They got a quarterback that beat this Bengals team that's in the Super Bowl. Still sounds weird to say out loud.
Right.
Or you can go to the Giants, where, you got the Eagles, but they don't have a quarterback. The Cowboys, but they're expensive, and they can't get over the hump. The Washington football team, they need a quarterback. I get it. And I think it's going to be a good hire. It's the first time that the Giants have made a hire in 25 years that I think I looked at and went, yes, that's good. I mean, Tom Coughlin, but that was
so long ago.
Well, A, it was a long time ago. B, when they hired him, it wasn't like the slam dunk that everybody seemed to think it was. Yeah, he had a couple good years in Jacksonville. There was some less than ideal things that came out of that.
Right. So, I mean, I would agree with you. I think I like the hire. I like Brian Daboll. I think he's going to be a good coach in this league.
Confirmed hires. Where do you put this one?
The confirmed hires, I would say this is 2.
It's 1 for me.
I would put it 2 behind Nathaniel Hackett.
It's 1 for me, and it's not really all that close. I just believe in Daboll's ability to put a staff together. I love that he's keeping Patrick Graham. That was one of the things I was really interested to see. Whoever took this job, are you going to keep the really intelligent, very highly thought of defensive coordinator. And it was the first words out of his mouth. And that just tells me, you know what? This guy gets it. This guy's been very measured about what job he was going to take.
Right.
He's had opportunities to be a head coach in this league before. And this is the one they settled on and went, that's where I can win.
Well, the New York Giants got him a good head coach, I think. I mean, I feel pretty certain about that. Of course, I think I said the same thing about Matt Rule, and that hasn't gone too well for the Carolina Panthers.
Well, here's one big difference. Matt Rule didn't have 2 picks in the top 8 or 7. I think they wound up at 7.
Right.
You change the roster a lot with 2 top 7 picks.
Oh, no doubt. And you go heavy on the offensive line and protect your running back, protect your quarterback, see what you can do with the weapons that you already have in the building. I think they have a lot to build on offensively for the New York Giants.
Well, I mean, they have pieces defensively. You just got to find somebody that can bring them all together.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Patrick Graham's going to be the coordinator. I think having a reasonable facsimile of an offense is going to change that drastically. I'm not as dead set that Daniel Jones is unfixable.
Are you starting to lose any faith in Adam Schefter? Just curious.
No.
It wasn't the greatest of weekends for Adam Schefter.
Why? Because he was 100% right about Tom Brady retiring, and then Tom went, no, and his dad. No, Tom has made a decision. Tom's 100% made a decision. He didn't want this to get out before the Super Bowl happened.
Right.
Well, it did.
Yeah, everybody. So the shark has been jumped, so to speak, on that. Today, he's reporting in the head coaching searches that the Jacksonville Jaguars brought in Rich Bisaccia.
Rich Bisaccia.
To interview for their head coaching vacancy.
Somebody asked us yesterday if he was going to get a head coaching job, and I laughed.
But now?
And I thought, who in the world outside of the Raiders would hire him? The Jacksonville Jaguars went, hold my beer.
Yeah, that might be the only coach in the league that actually wants to take that job now.
I don't do this often, but I'm going to break news. The Jacksonville Jaguars are just one step away from interviewing Adam Gase.
Or David Kelly. I hear he's available.
David Kelly would be better than probably half of the candidates they've actually brought in.
Rich Bisaccia.
Just get it done with Byron Leftwich.
They're not gonna, because they apparently don't want to get rid of Trent Baalke, which is
fire Trent Baalke.
Awful.
Fire him today.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Green on green. Jeremy's on a hot streak lately. Let's see if he's got some winners for us coming up next here on ESPN Asheville. Hey, it's Tank Spencer, host of the Sportsocracy. Jeremy and I are on the PhD weight loss program, and after 2 months, I'm actually becoming a believer, not just in the program, but in myself. So far on this program, I've lost nearly 28 pounds. I feel great, and I'm actually starting to believe my weight loss goal of 120 pounds is achievable. In other programs, I've felt disappointed or ashamed that my progress is never enough. The coaches at PhD Weight Loss never make me feel that way. In fact, they keep me positive and that I'm staying on the path, and I'm actually killing it. I feel my self-confidence growing each time that I get in that building. Dr. Ashley Lucas formulated this program with professional athletes. I'm not one of those, but she believes we're all athletes, born to move, feel, and look great. PhD Weight Loss is working for me, and it's helping me inspire the rest of my family to get healthier. There's no requirement for rigorous exercise. You eat healthy, not starve yourself, and there are no magic pills involved. Join us on our journey. Visit myphdweightloss.com today. That's myphdweightloss.com.
Hey guys, I'm Ziggy, your local Philly girl, owner of Ziggy's Bakery and Deli. I've created a traditional northern deli with only the most authentic cheesesteaks outside of Philadelphia, served with provolone, white American, or Cheese Whiz. Our other classic deli sandwiches are made with the best quality meats and cheeses, available sliced by the pound. Join us for breakfast for house-made bagels with our custom cream cheeses. Or for something heartier, try a pork roll, egg, and cheese or house-cured lox. Ziggy's Bakery and Deli, in the corner of Asheville Commons, 1550 Hendersonville Road, open 8 to 3, Tuesday through Saturday.
What is iHeartRadio? All your favorite music.
This is Tyler from 21 Pilots.
This is Dan from Imagine Dragons, and this is iHeartRadio.
All your favorite stations, where you live or where you used to live. And of course, virtually every podcast on the planet at your fingertips. And it's all free. If you don't already have it, download the free iHeart app today. iHeart. Discover music, radio, and podcasts you'll love.
iHeartRadio.
Hey, team, it's a full house. We got to pick up the pace.
At Hank's Restaurant, the line goes around the block.
Is this for 12? Okay, I need the truffle oil drizzle.
What he needs is another line cook.
Oh, man. Are the quail breasts still in the sous vide? Dave, can you keep an eye on that, please?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
What if one day you went to your secret hiding place and instead of what you came for, you found a phone number, 1-800-662-HELP? What would you do? Would you stop and give it some thought? Before drugs take their toll on you and your family, know that there is help. You can quit. For help with drug use, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral, or go to samhsa.gov/knowtherisks.
At Panera, you can say yes to both of your cravings. We call it You Pick Two. And with over 465 pairings, you'll find a meal sure to satisfy any mood. Are you feeling both fresh and fun? Pick our Fuji apple salad with a new Thai chicken soup. Or maybe you're feeling classic and bold. Pair some creamy mac and cheese with our new Citrus Asian Crunch salad. Pick your perfect pair and order a You Pick Two today. Panera, the familiar made fantastic.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Coffee still closes on. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Monday means it's an exciting night in the NBA. I went 1-3 on Friday by a total of 5 points. But we're going to try to get back to our winning ways tonight. I am 33-34-1 against the spread in 2022. I got 4 picks for you in the NBA. The first one, the Boston Celtics are a 3.5-point favorite tonight against the Miami Heat. Miami just played a 3-overtime thriller against the Toronto Raptors, where almost all of their starters played 45 or more minutes. Vegas is accounting for that, but not enough. I could see Boston running them out of the gym. Yeah, Boston played on Saturday, too. 1-3 overtime game. I could see Miami being lackadaisical. Give me the Celtics minus 3.5. The Oklahoma City Thunder are a 4-point dog tonight at home against the Portland Trail Blazers. The Thunder cover spreads. Now, they've stopped doing that since I've been on them, which is really infuriating. But this Trailblazers team's not that good. No Dame Lillard, no CJ McCollum. I don't love either of these teams, but 4 points is too much. Give me the Thunder plus 4. Finally, the Grizzlies are a 2-point dog tonight at the Philadelphia 76ers. The over-under is 218.5. I love the under in this game. These two teams have been playing much slower in the last few weeks. And I'm going to be honest with you. The Grizzlies are the best team in the NBA on the road. I don't love Philadelphia. I know they've been playing better. But give me the Grizzlies plus the 2, under 218.5.
Go and do likewise, gents. The money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no sympathy for you.
And as always, you can take those wagers over to betus.com, betus.com. Use the promo code SPORTSOCRACY. They'll give you a 125% deposit bonus just for using our promo code SPORTSOCRACY at betus.com. Speaking of professional athletes, Jeremy, Dr. Ashley Lucas from PhD Weight Loss believes that there is an athlete in all of us. You think I have one in me?
I think it might be a little deeper than many of the rest of us, but yes, I could actually see that.
Well, she is trying to help us unlock our inner athletes. It may be a bigger job for me than it is for Jeremy, but we've got a total weight loss goal of 200 pounds, and so far, we've lost over 50 combined. I'm over the 30 mark, he's over the 20 mark, and we are getting it done with PhD.
I have not weighed this little since I was 24 years old. I feel great. I'm much healthier, and I can't emphasize enough how convenient this is. This is what got me in the situation I'm in. Fast food was always convenient. This is convenient, and it's healthy for you, and it makes you feel better.
Dr. Ashley Lucas of PhD Weight Loss believes in us. She believes in you. Go to myphdweightloss.com. myphdweightloss.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, a dry start to February for us. Our temperatures in the mid-20s for tonight. Sunshine Tuesday, high 50. A nice little uphill climb here for the midweek forecast in Asheville. By Thursday, we're talking 57 degrees and some rain coming into the forecast for late week, Thursday and Friday. Heaviest rain late Thursday night, but our numbers are going to be so warm it'll all be liquid for us. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Are you a safe driver? Are you looking to save money? With DriveWise from Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you can save. At Allstate, better protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Why does Walgreens offer copays as low as $0 and 90-day refills? Because we care about Medicare, so you don't have to. I mean, do you really care to hear me go on about same-day prescription delivery making your life easier? Or how there's a pharmacy expert available 24/7 and one-click refills? Well, I just did anyways. Fill your Medicare prescriptions with Walgreens and save.
$0 copays apply to Tier 1 generic drugs and select plans with Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy. Restrictions apply. See walgreens.com/Medicare for complete details.
I feel like I'm being haunted by a pair of headphones. Everywhere I go is a creepy ad for headphones I looked at one time. I hate that feeling like I'm being watched. I downloaded DuckDuckGo and saw a difference right away. Take back your privacy online with DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter. I'm Kevin Winter. 54 Super Bowls were played prior to last season, and never had the game been played in the stadium of one of the two participants. But now for a second straight time, one team will host the Super Bowl. Both the Bengals and the Rams overcame double-digit deficits to win their respective conference championship games yesterday. And for Cincinnati, it's the first trip to the Super Bowl since 1988, when Hall of Fame tackle Anthony Munoz was on the team. He joined T-Shot, Jay Will, and Max this morning.
The sun is shining bright in the Natty, and I'm sure a lot of people are smiling this morning. This big guy also got a big smile. I'm so excited for this team. Zach Taylor, Joe Burrow, and all the other guys. Amazing. So much fun to watch. It was a great night last night.
2 years ago, they were the worst team in the league, had the number one pick. Now they're going to the Super Bowl. Rams will host SoFi Stadium in 2 weeks. Joe Ingles is out for the season. The Utah Jazz forward has suffered a torn ACL, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Auburn, Gonzaga, UCLA, Purdue, top 4 in college hoops. Kentucky, number 5.
Brought to you by Capital One Auto Navigator, where you can find a car, get pre-qualified instantly, and see your real monthly payment without impacting your credit score. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/Auto Navigator.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, bank. That's bank. Enter it on our station website now.
Log on now to ESPNABL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingalls Supermarkets.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Man, every time I look up at the television, they just keep showing that last interception for the Cincinnati Bengals in overtime. And man, I'm going to say it again. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to the Super Bowl. But let's talk about the LA Rams for a minute, because they made the all-in moves. We've talked about this all season long. I said they were one of the teams with the most pressure on them because they went all in. They did the deal, sending Jared Goff to the Detroit Lions to get Matt Stafford because he was the guy that could win you a Super Bowl. And anything short of where we stand right now would have been a failure for this team. I fully believe it would have been seen as a disaster, even if it had come down to the final play against San Francisco and they couldn't get it done.
Yesterday's why you made this deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Matthew Stafford gives you an ability to do things that Jared Goff was never going to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way it is. I understand Matthew Stafford has not been the MVP candidate that a lot of people thought he would be.
Right.
I tried to warn you of that before the season, but I'm also the one that had the Rams in the Super Bowl, and here they are.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't think I didn't put enough into this, and I think some other people probably put too much into it. What he did is make Cooper Kupp, bring back Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham looked way more like the Odell Beckham I remember in New York than he ever did in Cleveland.
Most definitely.
And that's because of Matthew Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
Any quarterback that's got an arm that big, you're always going to have to account for it. And he wasn't infallible yesterday. 31-45, 337 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 less than ideal interception.
Right.
Should have had another one that was a punt.
Mm-hmm. Just Quisky Tart just couldn't bring it in.
I'm still dumbfounded of how you don't catch that. I honestly thought he could have fair caught it.
He could have.
But at the end of the day, that's why you brought him in here.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're exactly where you wanted to be. You've got Sean McVay against the Sean McVay pupil, Zach Taylor.
I saw this shot earlier today, and I wanted to make sure to get it out. The Sean McVay coaching tree has now produced more Super Bowl appearances than the Bill Belichick tree.
Yep.
I just thought we'd throw that out there.
It's probably going to get Kevin O'Connell a job, too.
Very well could. He's a finalist for a few jobs.
Jacksonville, can you just please stop making this so difficult?
Do you think that's who they should hire?
That's who they're waiting. They're going to wait for 2 weeks to talk to Kevin O'Connell.
Okay.
Which I cannot for the life of me wrap my head around. But, I mean, I like the kid. But good gracious. Just, okay, it's Byron Leftwich.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at the Rams, this has been – it's not been as smooth as we thought it would be. But I can credit that to you played in the toughest division in football.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think that's debatable.
No.
But you brought in Matthew Stafford to get you here. That's the whole goal, was to get you here. You probably didn't expect to play the Bengals.
Right.
But Stafford just willed them to a victory yesterday. Something I've yet to hear anybody mention. They couldn't run to save their lives yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Running game was pathetic. I think they averaged like 2.3 or 2.4 yards a carry. And Matthew Stafford made mistakes. Made plenty of them. But at the end of the day, you won. They didn't.
Right.
And the difference, to me, I don't care what QBR says. I don't care what any of it says. The difference was Jimmy Garoppolo to Matthew Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
Because those two teams played dead heat for right at 60 minutes.
Yes.
Who made the last mistake?
It was Jimmy.
The inferior quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about Jimmy in the next segment. Jimmy's catching a lot of heat today.
Well, I think as he should. I mean, I think Patrick Mahomes should be catching more shade today than Jimmy G. But, I mean, that's just me. I think Patrick making the big failures was a bigger story than Jimmy G. I mean, we all kind of expected it, right? Didn't we all kind of expect that to happen? I mean, we'll talk about that in the next segment, but still.
Well, I mean, what Matthew Stafford brought L.A. was more of a margin for error. When you've got a quarterback that can do things that he can, nobody has ever doubted the arm talent on Matthew Stafford.
No.
Nobody. Made Calvin Johnson. Not sitting here telling you Calvin Johnson wouldn't have been great no matter where he went, because he probably would have.
Made Calvin Johnson. That's hard for people to swallow. I'm not saying you're wrong. Don't think I'm trying to go there. But I mean, this has been a narrative for Matthew his entire career. I mean, coming out of Georgia, #1 quarterback, went to the playoffs 3 times, was 0-3 in the playoffs, and everybody what did they call him? Stat Padford. That's all he was there for, was just to throw for 4,000, 5,000 yards, and your team's not really good. You're never going to get over that hump. And I think this is a great coming-of-age story. But your question is, this is the best trade in the NFL since when? And I thought about it, and I think it's Randy Moss.
The only two that I'm even going to listen to would be Randy Moss or Marshall Faulk.
Mm-hmm.
Marshall Faulk would be my answer.
I mean, obviously the Randy Moss trade would have been better if there wasn't that little Eli Manning feller who had screwed it all up for him.
18 wins, 1 giant loss.
Right. But, I mean, him and Tom Brady set season records when he was there.
By the way, I feel like I should point this out.
Mm-hmm.
How many times did Calvin Johnson make the AP first team, AP All-Pro first team with Matthew Stafford?
4 times? 5 times?
He made it 3 times and was second team once.
Okay.
How many times did he do it without him?
None.
Is 0.
Yeah.
He was there 2 years before Matthew Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
So, anybody that goes, well, he didn't make Calvin Johnson. Well, all those career years you remember, yeah, they were with Stafford.
Right.
And granted, it was a whole lot of Dan Orlovsky and bad.
Right.
Before I get that. I feel like there's a lot of shade thrown at Matthew Stafford.
There is.
And there's only one reason that I've ever been able to figure out why.
Okay.
It's because he went 1.
Mm-hmm.
If he had gone 2 in the same draft, I genuinely think you would look at him as a great success story in this league.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's a great player, obviously, but
nobody's ever doubted what
I got Georgia glasses, so
yeah, you're not
right. Like
I'm
I'm trying to be impartial because he has had a lot of failures, but there's been a lot of good around it. And everybody got nervous when he started throwing interceptions late in the season. They were like, oh, this is the Matt Stafford. Heck, yesterday on the first drive, when the ball gets tipped, he throws it over the middle to Cooper Kupp. Ball gets knocked out. It gets intercepted. And you said, oh, that's a Matt Stafford throw. Well, look where he's at now.
Mm-hmm.
He found Cooper Kupp twice, and they're going to the Super Bowl.
Well, let me ask you a question. There's only one quarterback in the last 18, 19 years that falls into the category of what I'm getting ready to say.
Okay.
Name me a quarterback that went in the top 5 that's obviously not been just outright bust. So take out the Vince Youngs and guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
Name me one that's been better than Matthew Stafford.
Ooh.
That did not go 1. There's one answer in the last 20 years, and it's Phillip Rivers.
Okay.
Now, who's a better quarterback historically?
I would think it's Matt now.
I kind of tend to agree with you.
Matt just passed him.
The 1 Super Bowl appearance was enough.
Absolutely.
On merit alone, it would have been Matthew Stafford the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just going strictly analytics or stats or however you want to do that, it would have been Matthew Stafford 3 days ago,
yep,
2 years ago,
agreed,
and 6 weeks from now.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what happened.
He never had the weapons that Phillip did.
Exactly. And I've always kind of thought that the heat that goes on Stafford is completely undue. There have been multiple opportunities for this team to kind of fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when they got just demolished on Monday Night Football by the 49ers?
I do.
You could have fallen apart after that.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't. Do you know they're the only team in the NFL? We did power rankings every week of this season. Do you know they're the only team in the NFL that was in the top 5 every time we did it? Every time. They never fell out. 5 is the furthest they fell.
Wow.
They're the only team that can say that. Because one week I lost faith in the Bills and they fell 6.
Well, we've always believed that they have the ability. It was, how is Matt going to screw it up? And guess what? Matt's off the hook now.
And the unfortunate thing is, if he loses to the Bengals, that will continue forever. Oh, he can't win the big game.
Absolutely.
See, the Cinderella Bengals beat him in the Super Bowl. Be real honest with yourself. lost his running back in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually in camp. It wasn't even in the preseason. It was in mini camp.
Right.
Just now has come back. Lost his number one wide receiver. People forget that. The number one was Robert Woods, not Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
Lost Tyler Higbee yesterday. Made Kendall Blanton a thing. By the way, Kendall Blanton more yards yesterday than George Kittle.
Yep. Unsung hero of the day yesterday.
He was so good.
Blanton?
We said Kendall Blanton's name way more often than I would have ever believed.
Right. Oh, I mean, when he scored last week against Tampa Bay, I went, who is Kendall Blanton and what is he doing on the field? And then Higbee gets hurt. He comes in, and it was just like the machine just kept on rolling. And he had, 5 catches for 58 yards or something and a touchdown? I felt like he was an unsung hero of yesterday.
He absolutely was. He absolutely was.
Mm-hmm.
And for all of the heat that has been on Stafford all year long for, they didn't throw for 5,000 yards. And of course he didn't.
Didn't have to.
Of course he didn't. That's not what Sean McVay does. Just because that team went through a period where they couldn't stop anybody, they're more reliant on a run game than you would think. And in the biggest game of their season, where they couldn't run to save their lives, Matthew Stafford brings you out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the defense helped. But I'll be honest with you. I think if Jared Goff is the starting quarterback of the LA Rams yesterday, I firmly believe the San Francisco 49ers will be going to the Super Bowl.
I'd agree.
And to me, that makes this the best trade anybody's made in the last 20 years.
Okay.
Because you take that, your argument would have been Randy Moss.
Yes.
You take that 18-1 New England Patriots team.
Right.
They were good anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They were fantastic, would have been Super Bowl favorites regardless. Randy did give them another level because now Tom could go over the top in a way that he couldn't do that before.
Right.
I would argue the entire offense for the Rams runs better with Matthew Stafford than it ever did with Jared Goff. Because Goff had such limitations that you had to scheme things open. It's the reason Cooper Kupp's best year, when did it happen?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's an inside slot receiver guy that requires a little bit of a aggressive quarterback, we'll say.
Right.
You're not going to have a slot receiver do what Cooper Kupp did this year if you don't take some chances. Joe Burrow, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue there's not a quarterback in the NFL that would be better for Jamar Chase than Joe Burrow. Total aside, the number one thing that blew my mind yesterday, other than Pizza Hut, which we will get to that momentarily.
Kudos.
Was we did a poll on best receiver still left in the playoffs. There was one from every team. Jamar Chase got a vote.
Mm-hmm.
A. Singular. That kind of dumbfounded me.
You think he's way better than that? He was your one, right?
He was my one, yeah.
So you were the only one.
The one vote
you were
was
the only
me.
one.
Which still just dumbfounds me.
Yeah. I mean, well, you're just a forward thinker. You're a deeper thinker than all the rest of us.
Well, because there really wasn't a wrong answer. I mean, the ones out there were Tyreek Hill,
mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel.
Yep.
There's not a wrong answer in that. I'm just shocked nobody else went with Jamar Chase.
Yeah. And it was Cooper Kupp by a mile.
I was also dumbfounded by how many people went with Cooper Kupp. Like, man, I wish I'd asked that question during the Bengals game because I feel like that might have changed the answer.
I mean, Cooper Kupp by a mile in the poll. And then I think Deebo was second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And your guy came in last.
Yeah, Jamar Chase was dead last.
Mm-hmm. Matthew Stafford, the best trade since Marshall Faulk. Marshall Faulk.
Because Marshall Faulk really made that Kurt Warner Rams team way more than people want to acknowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kurt Warner was the fun story they made Disney movies about. Yeah, Marshall Faulk was the best running back I've ever seen.
There's a whole lot of similarities between those two teams, too. I mean, we talked about this at the beginning, the biggest underdog stories. I mean, you look at the building of that St. Louis Rams team.
Yeah, the only difference is one of them took a quarterback that no one had heard of, but then they did.
Right.
The other one found a quarterback at a grocery store.
Right. But you look at the wide receivers,
Weapons
the running
were
back.
fantastic.
It was all kind of just cookie cutter. And a team that went from worst to first. Now, the San Francisco 49ers, they got a decision to make. And I believe that their quarterback made the decision for them yesterday.
But
after his play in the NFC Championship game. We'll talk about the future for Jimmy G and how much blame he gets or should be getting right after this here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, a dry start to February for us. Our temperatures in the mid-20s for tonight. Sunshine Tuesday, high 50. A nice little uphill climb here for the midweek forecast in Asheville. By Thursday, we're talking 57 degrees and some rain coming into the forecast for late week, Thursday and Friday. Heaviest rain late Thursday night, but our numbers are going to be so warm it'll all be liquid for us. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 26 eastbound between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. Haywood County 40 westbound stop and go between NC 215 and exit 27. Maintenance in the stretch has the right lane closed. Sardis Road northbound is slow between Sand Hill Road and the Smoky Park Highway. On the Charlotte Highway near Cedar Mountain Road, delays due to an accident. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road moving incident-free. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by DuckDuckGo. Protect your privacy for free with DuckDuckGo.
I feel like I'm being haunted by a pair of headphones. Everywhere I go is a creepy ad for headphones I looked at one time. I hate that feeling like I'm being watched. I downloaded DuckDuckGo and saw a difference right away. Take back your privacy online with DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
At Panera, you can say yes to both of your cravings. We call it You Pick Two. And with over 465 pairings, you'll find a meal sure to satisfy any mood. Are you feeling both fresh and fun? Pick our Fuji apple salad with a new Thai chicken soup. Or maybe you're feeling classic and bold. Pair some creamy mac and cheese with our new Citrus Asian Crunch salad. Pick your perfect pair and order a You Pick Two today. Panera, the familiar made fantastic.
If you're on the job day in and day out, you know living with pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders is miserable. The good news, QC Kinetics gets it. They understand guys like you.
They don't have the luxury of taking time off. They want to keep working. We are built for those guys that want to keep working and want to stay active. So the vast majority of who we see are the blue-collar guys like me and you.
QC Kinetics uses biologic therapies, just like pro athletes have used for years, to get you lasting pain relief with no surgery.
I want you to continue working. I want you to continue exercising. The joints are made to be moved.
The treatments at QC Kinetics are fast and non-invasive.
It's not a lot of time commitment on your part. There is no downtime or recovery time. You don't need short-term disability with what we do. We want to keep you active.
Call QC Kinetics now to set up your free no-obligation consultation. Learn how you can get real pain relief and stay on the job.
QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517 in Asheville and Greeneville. Call 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517.
63 Americans a day die by gun suicide. By storing our guns safely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo, we can give our loved ones a second chance at life. Learn more at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with lots of sound effects. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here are some zany sounds. Saving on home insurance is no laughing matter. Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need. The money you save could change your life. It's time for you to take your insurance choice seriously. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
So much of life these days is rushing around from one place to another. Sometimes you just want to enjoy the journey on the way to the destination. And part of what makes it a little more enjoyable is an appreciation for the folks who help you get there. At Ingalls, we know that the people who send you on your way are the same ones who keep you coming back.
I think you should take it for a spin. Are you serious?
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, and don't forget to check us out at thesportsocracy.com. Just click on that live video link. You can watch the show each and every day rather than just listen to us here on ESPN Asheville or, of course, everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Hit that subscribe button so you can get in on the comments. Where does Jimmy G go from here? San Francisco 49ers fell short in the NFC Championship game, losing for the first time in 7 meetings with the LA Rams, and nobody looks worse today. Well, I think Patrick Mahomes looks worse today than Jimmy G, but Jimmy G's taking a whole lot of heat, and especially it's all because of that last interception. And you got Aaron Donald hanging all over you, and you're just praying that something's going to happen. And you throw it right to the defense. It's fun times.
Let me ask you a question. What quarterback yesterday had the highest QBR?
The highest QBR?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Jimmy G?
It was Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Stop that.
71 for Garoppolo, 61.9 for Matthew Stafford. Joe Burrow was a 54.9, and Pat Mahomes was a 40.8.
How? How is that possible?
Analytically, Jimmy Garoppolo was just fine. Yeah. And I think the fact that he's catching so much heat for what happened is stupid.
I mean, that was an ultimate boneheaded decision, though. I mean, you can't deny that.
No, I don't dispute that.
Okay.
The pass was a little high.
Mm-hmm.
But Elijah Mitchell was still standing right there. That ball did get tipped up in the air, and I don't know why nobody seems to want to say that.
Mm-hmm.
I also know that Jimmy Garoppolo is let's say he's reasonably limited. The longest run the 49ers had yesterday was 9 yards. They had 2 runs of 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, they didn't have one go longer than 5, which tells me he was behind the chains all day.
Yes.
That's not what Jimmy Garoppolo does. That's not how this works.
Mm-hmm.
You want to fall to anybody? I'll tell you who I fully believe the blame should be on. The great kazoo, Kyle Shanahan. Can we get him a new hat? There is something about the way he wears hats that makes his head look like it is as big as the hood of an Impala.
We should get him those little Peaky Blinders hats like Bruce Arians has.
He needs something with a flap like over the ears. I don't really know.
Like a Sherlock Holmes hat?
Yeah, he needs something. Because, I mean, and look, there is nobody that is less prone to talk about the cranium size of another person than me, because I have the biggest head I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
But every time I see him wearing a hat, I'm like, could you put that on backwards or maybe turn it to the side a little bit? Like,
it just doesn't fit his head.
What you need to do.
It just doesn't fit his head.
What did the San Francisco 49ers do well yesterday?
What did they do well?
Mm-hmm.
Not real sure.
They were pretty good defensively.
I mean, yeah.
What did they do well offensively? George Kittle was largely irrelevant.
Which he has been for 5 weeks.
He had a touchdown. Other than that, not great.
Mm-hmm.
Best plays on offense, good passes by Jimmy Garoppolo to Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel.
Yep.
That's it. And so the guy that kept you in this game is the guy you're blaming for losing it. Yep. I cannot understand that. I feel like, okay, and I'm going to say something a little weird here. Nobody should be shocked that I'm going to say something odd.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if Jimmy Garoppolo was not the NFL quarterback that every one of our wives thought was so cute, we would not bang on him this much. Because that's the only thing that makes any sense. He gets killed. He's one of the winningest quarterbacks in the league. And everybody kills him for every little stupid thing that he does. He throws a bad interception.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was a bad interception. It was a bad decision to try to check it down, throw it out of bounds. You know who else threw a bad interception yesterday? Pat Mahomes.
Right.
You know who else threw a bad interception yesterday? Joe Burrow. Just so happened Jimmy's was in crunch time.
Mm-hmm. And I
don't know. And by the way, I don't know that all of your wives find. I can tell you, HWA does.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. I mean, he's a handsome guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there ain't no shock to that. I mean, I agree with you. I feel like the guy who should be getting the most heat today is Patrick Mahomes. But Jimmy G, I mean, he has his share of it because that last play was just so bad. like I said, I know you're under duress, buddy, but there are several things you could have done there other than give it to the other team.
And I don't dispute that.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like San Francisco is about to walk into, you're going to get what you asked for, and you may live to regret it.
Well, I mean, they were always going to play that game.
Well, I mean, and I understand that. I didn't really understand what it was that San Francisco saw of we have to trade up for a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I never understood that. I still don't understand that. I mean, I understand that Trey Lance has a high side to his game. I mean, my closest comp to him was good Cam Newton with a better arm. So, yes, I do understand how having a quarterback that is that mobile and that multiple in that system is going to be harder to defend. I have never looked at the San Francisco 49ers and gone, your problem is Jimmy Garoppolo. Your biggest problem is every player on your team, I think, is made of popsicle sticks. Every one of them gets hit real hard. Guaranteed they're going to the sideline. I don't think I've ever watched a game with Deebo Samuel in it that he didn't get help at the sideline at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the guy. But, okay, this guy beat Jamar Chase as best receiver in the NFL in a poll we did yesterday.
But Jimmy Garoppolo's always been on the outside of that
I'm
elite
not telling you he's
tier.
great.
No.
He doesn't
I understand
have
that.
to be.
I understand that.
In this system, you just need a guy that's not going to turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
And for 58 minutes, Jimmy Garoppolo did exactly what you asked him to do.
Yes.
One bad decision, and he's the reason you lost.
Mm-hmm.
I got news for you. Jimmy Garoppolo is not the reason you lost. He's not. The reason you lost is because you could not put them away. You could not stop them when it mattered. There's a lot of blame to go around here. And the only thing I've heard all day long is, well, San Francisco can't wait to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo to turn the reins over to Trey Lance.
Because there's a higher upside with him.
I will promise you, I'm a betting individual.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Lance starter next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bet you $1 to a donut to anything in between. They don't get back here next year.
I'll agree with that.
Anything you want. The learning curve is going to be steep for this kid.
Mm-hmm.
Level of competition,
yeah.
toughest division in football. Yep. And I feel like there's going to come a time next year that Jimmy Garoppolo is, I don't know, throwing dimes to Terry McLaurin for the Washington football team, where San Francisco is going to go, we really didn't appreciate that guy. It'd be nice if we could get old Jimmy back.
Depending on what they can get.
I'd literally see it in the offing.
That's it. Depending on what they can get. I mean, if you can get something good,
they're not going to get as much as you think.
Well, I don't know what they're going to get. I mean, what do you think they get? You going to get a 2, a 3?
I would say it's going to look strikingly similar to the Carson Wentz deal. 2 conditional 2s that, based on playing time, can move up to a 1. You're not getting a 1 in this draft. I will promise you that.
Right.
Because they know you're leveraged. You did this to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think John Lynch is a brilliant GM. But you did this to yourself. The entire league knows you're moving off Jimmy Garoppolo.
Mm-hmm.
So why are they going to aggressively throw offers at you?
Well, they're going to get in a bidding war with themselves. The quarterback needy teams will, I mean, Denver, Pittsburgh,
and here's
Washington.
The thing. Denver has higher sights than Jimmy Garoppolo.
I agree.
I don't think he fits in Pittsburgh. David Evans Olson just asked that in the comments, and that was the next thing I was getting ready to say. I don't think he fits particularly well in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
There's one team where I really think he could be the best that he is. Here's the other problem. Almost every quarterback-needy team is in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to play him do you want to have to go through Jimmy Garoppolo? If you're San Francisco, do you really want to ship him to Washington with how much talent they have defensively?
Mm-hmm.
How well he can run a very similar offense? You really want to risk that? Because I don't think you do.
No.
And if you do, you're playing with fire. And if you get burnt, you get what you get.
Right. Highest odds for his next landing spot. I'll throw these out at you real quick. You tell me if you like it or not. Plus 400 to Pittsburgh.
I don't think he fits that scheme.
Plus 400 to Washington.
I love that one.
Plus 550 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Stop. Kyle Trask is your quarterback. I'm sorry that your best friend retired and now you are something awful. But no.
plus 600 to the Denver Broncos.
I get it, but I think they have higher aspirations.
And then there are 3 teams at plus 700 right now to be the next landing spot for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, these are going to be so stupid. I see it coming. I see it coming.
They all have quarterbacks already. Miami.
That one's dumb.
The Carolina Panthers.
That one's dumber.
And the Las Vegas Raiders.
I hate people sometimes. Whoever made those lines, I don't like you, because now I'm going to have to answer that question way more times than I want to.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
All right, so we had a nor'easter go through the Northeast and brought ice all over the place. And in Seymour, Connecticut, the Seymour Fire Department got called to the scene of a home on Walnut Street on Saturday night because the homeowner was trying to remove ice from the outside of his dwelling. Now, Jeremy, do you know what a garden torch is?
I know what a garden is.
Uh-huh.
I know what a torch is.
Uh-huh.
I do not know what a garden torch is.
Now, we're not talking about, this is not tiki torches. This is not like decorative torches. I didn't know what this was either. I had to look it up. That this is an actual thing that you can buy at the store, that is a little flamethrower that you use to burn weeds in your garden.
I don't feel like that should be sold. I know at least 8 people that would do just horrible things to themselves accidentally, with you being one of them.
Oh, the homeowner attempted to melt the snow from this weekend's nor'easter with a garden torch and accidentally set the siding of his trailer on fire. And the fire department, of course, thankfully, due to the wetness of the weather and the very cold, the fire didn't get too out of control, so they were able to put the flames out very, very quickly. But this guy has a giant hole that you could drive a truck through in his front door because he was trying to remove, obviously, the ice from the front steps of the property.
I don't feel like we should have to say this. You don't remove snow with a flamethrower.
Not a flamethrower. Garden torch.
You can call it whatever you want. You described it as a miniature garden flamethrower.
That's what it is.
Just like, how do you look at your house with a flamethrower and go, this is a great idea? I think this is going to work well.
Right. The fire department had to go back after some false information was put out calling this a flamethrower. They had to go back and say, no, it wasn't a flamethrower. It was a garden torch. And then they put out the PSA of, we don't feel we need to tell people this, but
you do.
It's not a good idea.
Do. If you don't believe that you do, go to TikTok and watch what people post on it.
Right.
I think there should now be warning labels on everything.
That's a story that guy will never live down.
Speaking of a story that somebody will never live down, somebody in Alabama had an idea.
Okay.
And they work in the government. And it's somebody on the council of Florence, Alabama. Have you ever been to Florence?
No.
I have gone through there a couple times. And when I first saw this, I went, yeah, that's what I say every time I see Florence, Alabama coming on the sign.
Where is Florence?
Give me a minute, I'll tell you.
Okay. I was just curious. I know where Flomation is, but I don't know where Florence is.
So Florence, Alabama needed a new slogan.
Okay.
And a new logo. I didn't know cities had logos, but apparently they do.
Of course they do.
So they came up with a slogan of live for more. That's not the funny part.
Okay.
They hired a firm to come up with their logo. And their idea was to spell out flow. F-L-O.
Okay.
And so the way they did that is they made a great big capital F and then made an exclamation point with the L and the O. So, and you can take this wherever you want to. I'm just going to, it's F exclamation point, live for more. That's the new slogan of Florence, Alabama. Capital F exclamation point, live for more. apparently the residents are not really happy because they feel like this outside firm was trying to say something about their town, and they're very upset that they did not hire from someone within it that understood the town that could better wrap people's brains around what happens in Florence, Alabama.
Live for more.
Yeah.
That mean, is that like aim higher? That's like the new Navy slogan.
Get out while you still can.
Or
That's
Air
the
Force.
only one that would have been worse.
Right.
And you basically use an expletive as your logo. I just would love to know. And it's very clear what it is, too. It's not like, oh, we didn't see that. No, you made exactly what you tried to make.
We're just trying to make your town seem cool. We know it's not. So we're just trying to be edgy.
The funny thing is that they printed this on beer koozies. So they had just a slew of them. They were trying to give them out at a public event, and nobody would take them.
Nobody would take them?
Nobody would take them. They have thousands of them.
Then they must have. I mean, come on. I feel like those would go like hotcakes. See, if you ever did that in Asheville, those things would be the most popular thing in town.
Beer koozies?
With something like that?
I've never understood the point of a beer koozie.
It keeps your beer cold.
If you drink it slowly.
Oh, yeah. Not everybody guzzles them by the dozen like you do.
Look, okay, I don't need your shade there, Mr. Byfloor.
I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying not everybody's in a race. Sometimes, we got a lot of nurses in this community.
Oh, Stephen Tao said post the picture of that sign on Twitter. I can do that. It's really funny.
F exclamation point.
And somebody looked at that and went, we're good.
Do better. That's basically what they said. Do better than Florence.
Literally, I think that's the only motto that would have possibly been worse.
You could do better. Florence, Alabama.
Florence, Alabama. Run!
Yikes. As the carousel continues to turn in the NFL, we're talking about coaches. Where are they going to land? Where are they not? Latest on the Saints job? I've heard they're
hiring a defensive guy. That's all I can tell
they
you.
are?
Yeah, it's either going to be Aaron Glenn, Brian Flores, or Dennis Allen. And
Okay.
I would give, if I was putting a percentage on it, I would say Dennis Allen is 90%.
So the report,
Aaron Glenn's 9%, and Brian Flores is
So one of the reports this morning was that Doug Peterson's been brought in.
He's interviewed for it. He's not getting that job.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know why he would want that job. I mean, I get that you think that you're going to be able to hold on. Unfortunately, you're going to see how Sean Payton was the great Band-Aid. You're going to go away from one of the best play callers in the last 20 years in the NFL with Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston. Shoe buddy. Oh, and by the way, you're $75 million over the cap.
Mm-hmm.
I firmly believe it's going to be Dennis Allen.
Okay. Keep it in the
But
family.
I've heard that since well before Sean Payton actually left.
Mm-hmm. That he would be the heir apparent.
Well, when I first reported this, that Sean Payton could look to go into television, basically it was tied to the only way he would feel good doing that is if he knew Dennis Allen would get a fair shake at the job.
Okay.
He's very well thought of in the league. I mean, this is not going to be pretty in New Orleans.
Could you see a scenario where Dennis Allen gets the head coaching job and they bring in Doug Peterson to be the offensive coordinator?
No. Doug Peterson's not taking an offensive coordinator job. He won a Super Bowl.
Okay. I'm just asking the question.
You
because
wouldn't even ask that question.
This story came out right before noon that Doug Peterson had been brought in for an interview, and, he's obviously very close with Sean Payton. So I feel like that's one of those, hey, you gotta talk to you ought to talk to Doug. Doug might be a good solution for you. So, I mean, he's going to have the endorsement of Sean Payton. So, I don't know. Do they come up with some kind of a work share opportunity there where he's like the associate head coach? I don't know.
Doug doesn't really feel like he got a fair shake in Philadelphia.
He didn't.
I don't think you're going to sign up for New Orleans. I mean, I'm sure he went down there and talked to him. But it looks to me like this is going to be a defensive coach. I thought it was Dennis Allen the entire time.
Right. Apparently, him and Brian Flores are finalists.
And I don't buy Brian Flores.
Why not?
I don't know why you would do that. I don't for the life of me understand, if you're Brian Flores, why would you tie yourself to that? I mean, I get that the defense is good. You've got defensive talent.
Mm-hmm.
Your offense is going to be bad. You think it was a headache to deal with Tua Tagovailoa? Oh, wait till you deal with Jameis Winston.
I think
or Taysom Hill.
Brian Flores still I think the favorite to get the Houston job. Don't you think?
You remember that thing I just said about why would he take the Saints job?
Yeah.
Ditto. Times a billion D.
But you have the ability to build something there. I mean, you're going to get a lot of draft capital from the Deshaun deal.
Okay, so what you just did is you looked at a house that has burned down.
Yes.
And then a whole flock of pigeons came in and Florence, Alabama pooed on the spot.
All right, do better.
And now you're like, well, but we could build a new house. Yes, and probably 2 coaches from now will reap the benefits of that.
Possibly so.
I wouldn't. I mean 100% what I'm getting ready to say. If the Houston Texans offered me their job, I would turn them down.
Yep.
To be honest with you, I think Josh McCown's going to get that job.
Yeah,
they're going to take a flyer on a guy they know.
I was going to say, I think it's going to be somebody that don't have a whole lot of options.
Well, I mean, Josh McCown's other option is, well, I could go back and coach high school. That's really the pool that the Texans should be picking from.
So, right? Phillip Rivers, you heard it here first. Phillip Rivers, 100%. Next head coach
Call
of the
Phillip
Texans.
Rivers, see if he's interested.
The Las Vegas Raiders, meanwhile, they're going with the Patriots. They're going trying to build something out in the desert, New England style. They're going with Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels as their head coach.
And I've already bashed this. We felt really sure Friday this is how this was going to go.
Right.
The one thing I will say that I did not say when we talked about this Friday is there is a possibility that Josh McDaniels has grown up. When he was head coach in Denver, there were just rampant rumors of him being the biggest jerk on earth. And the thing that I've never understood, you have a team that bonded together through all of this strife and all of these issues that the Raiders had. They loved Bisaccia, and now you're bringing in the jerk to be your head coach. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Could it work? Sure. He's one of the biggest names that you could have hired in this cycle.
Mm-hmm.
I firmly believe that job was more attractive than that. And I think they could have done better with that. Now, the one thing that I have heard, and it started trickling out about the time McDaniel's name got floated with the Raiders, don't be shocked if he brings in Brian Flores to be his defensive coordinator.
Okay.
Because Flores is not going to take one of these death jobs. There are 3 jobs left that are literally, to me, they're career homicide.
So it's New Orleans, Jacksonville, Houston.
Well, no, Jacksonville, if you can make something out of
Trevor.
If you can make something out of Trevor. So there's only 2 left.
Okay. So it's New Orleans and
Houston. The 2 jobs he's up for.
Right. You got 5 on it today, Jeremy?
I do.
You got some winners to give us? Let's hear it. Time to make some money, Jeremy. Your last 2 days, only 1 miss and a 5 on it.
Yeah, and if the Thunder could, put away a game, I would be perfect in the last 2 days.
Oh,
but they couldn't. I'm going back to the well with the Thunder and Greene on Greene, but I have 3 for you here in I Got 5 on it. First, one I've already given you. 218.5 is the over-under between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Philadelphia 76ers. Something a lot of people don't seem to realize, those 2 teams are playing markedly slower than they have been over the course of the year. The number has gone down precipitously all day. It's still not low enough. If this doesn't get below 212, I'm great. I got 50 on it. Under 218.5, Memphis Grizzlies, Philadelphia 76ers. I got 50 on it. The Duke Blue Devils traveled to Notre Dame tonight. They are a 5.5-point favorite. I get that Notre Dame has a very talented player. I get that Notre Dame is at home. Here's the difference. They cannot contend Jimmy's and Joe's with the Duke Blue Devils. This team is really deep. This team is had a couple ugly games, and I could easily see them trying to prove a point tonight. I got 50 on it. Duke Blue Devils minus 5.5. You know I can't resist this. It's my favorite song. It's my favorite school, and they're catching weight. West Virginia's a 14-point dog tonight at Baylor. Baylor just played 2 days ago, and they played an Alabama team that wore them out. I'm not saying West Virginia's going to win this game. I kind of think they do. They're not going to. I have to talk myself out of doing the dumb thing and saying money line right here, which is what I want to do. But this number's way too high. Give me West Virginia plus 14. I got 25 on it.
Take all those wagers over to betus.com. BetUS.com. Promo code Sportsocracy. Get that 125% deposit bonus today with the promo code Sportsocracy at betus.com.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is time and go. 26 eastbound between the Blue Ridge Parkway to Fanning Bridge Road. Haywood County 40 westbound stop and go between NC 215 and exit 27. Road maintenance here does have the right lane closed. Charlotte Highway westbound near Cedar Mountain Road, an accident here has the shoulder closed. On Cane Creek Road near Gap Creek Road, seeing delays both directions. Sweeten Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Make this the winter of you with Audible. Listen to the best of what you love, from comedy to wellness to the latest bestsellers. Find it all at Audible with audiobooks, exclusive originals, and popular podcasts. Start listening free when you sign up at audible.com.
Hey folks, DG here. Y'all know I've always loved the slogan, Smiles Change Lives, which I first heard years ago from Dr. Rebecca Merrill of Asheville Smiles. I hope you will live that slogan here in 2022, whether it's just time for a routine cleaning, you want to learn more about Invisalign, a great alternative to braces, you need a diagnosis and treatment plan, or if you don't have dental insurance, you just want to learn more about her special membership plans. 828-251-2426 or AshevilleSmiles.com.
Hey y'all, this is your girl Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
Ray Magliozzi here. The tear in my driver's seat does have sentimental value since my butt's molded to fit it. But I'm ready for a new one from eBay Motors with all the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them. Till then, I'll just scooch. eBay Motors, let's ride.
Blitz that holiday debt and get $1,000 in your hand.
I just won $1,000.
Listen every hour from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. weekdays for your chance to win $1,000. Happening now.
Jewelry and Pawn. Find diamond earrings from only $19.95. All diamond solitaires, engagement rings, and anniversary bands are 20 to 50% off. Heart-shaped and select jewelry also up to 50% off. Now through Valentine's Day. Allen's Jewelry and Pawn.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider and are only available if the provider determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. See website for full details and important safety information.
Hey guys, good news. The expensive Little Blue pill is now generic, which means the prescription medication to treat ED is super affordable at 4hims.com. And now get your first online doctor's visit free at 4hims.com. That's right. Zero copay, no awkward face-to-face conversations to get your prescription. That's really good news. To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/joy.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Dirty Turkish back flat. I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore. Back flat.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
One of the prevailing thoughts of the day has been that Jimmy Garoppolo cost the San Francisco 49ers a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Tell me you're a spoiled fan base without telling me you're a spoiled fan base. You just had a quarterback that went 33-14 for you, and you literally cannot get rid of this guy fast enough for a rookie that you've seen throw less than 100 passes. I'm just saying, as a Jets fan, Jimmy Garoppolo would probably be the third best quarterback in our franchise history, and it really irks me to watch a guy that's been such a pro, such an unbelievable teammate through all of this, hasn't said anything in the media, hasn't been a problem, and led you to the NFC Championship game, and you cannot stop heaping problems and blame, and all of our problems are on Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, fantastic, San Francisco 49ers fans. You will get your wish. This offseason, Jimmy Garoppolo will no longer be the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. My only hope is that he finds a fan base that actually appreciates him. Maybe, I don't know, the Washington football team, who haven't really had a true starting quarterback in 30 years, because he will go there and be successful. And you will roll the dice with a draft pick that you took at 3, which never made any sense to me, still doesn't make any sense to me. And when you're not back here next year, or the year after that, or the year after that, I don't want to hear any complaining, because you got exactly what you wanted. I'm mad!
You don't think Trey? What? I thought you were on the Trey Lance bandwagon. You were leading the Trey Lance bandwagon.
I like Trey Lance. It's going to take copious amounts of time. Kid's 22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Came from an FCS school. Is not a polished passer anyway. You want the exact opposite of Jimmy Garoppolo? You got it.
Right.
And could it work for you? Could Kyle Shanahan turn this into a great quarterback down the line? Sure. You know when it's not going to happen? Week 1 of next year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want to hear anything from, and it's not all 49er fans. We have several of them that watch this show.
Right.
They know exactly where this is.
Mm-hmm.
But I've listened to national media just crush Jimmy Garoppolo all day, and it makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense to me. It's a lazy narrative. It's a lazy narrative for people that, I'll be honest with you don't understand this game. If you're telling me the reason they lost this game was Jimmy Garoppolo, you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. If you can't see that he was not the problem, there was one bad play at the end of that game.
Mm-hmm.
Got news for you. If Trey Lance had been your quarterback, you would have been in that game. Would have been over long before that. But enjoy it. You get what you want. Sometimes in life we get what we ask for, and it's not always what it was cracked up to be.
Then I believe the narrative would have been the same regardless of who it was. If the same thing had happened to Matthew Stafford, that's all we'd be hearing today.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we'd be hearing is Matthew Stafford can't win the big one. And Jimmy's got that. See, that's the problem with Jimmy. He's already got that stink on him. He's already got that stink on him from the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah, here's where I would say the Matthew Stafford thing. He's 86-95-1 as a starter. Jimmy Garoppolo is 33-14.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. The narrative is insane to me.
Right.
And it's gotten to such a stupid point that I can't wrap my brain around it.
The next 2 weeks are going to be fun as we get ready, get you all prepped for the big game in L.A. The Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Los Angeles Rams. Keep it right here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville and, of course, on the YouTube stream. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link, and we always do a happy hour The third uncensored hour, web only, is coming up next, and it is a Musicocracy Monday. Yes, we'll talk about all the sports things from yesterday. We'll answer all the questions in the comments as well. But if you think Jeremy was mad about that, wait till you hear who Jeremy believes is the most overrated band of all time. That's going to make you mad. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on that live video link. Hit the subscribe button. Join the House of Reprehensibles. Get in on the chat. Third hour's coming up next. We'll be back here on ESPN Asheville tomorrow at 3.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, a dry start to February for us. Our temperatures in the mid-20s for tonight. Sunshine Tuesday, high 50. A nice little uphill climb here for the midweek forecast in Asheville. By Thursday, we're talking 57 degrees and some rain coming into the forecast for late week, Thursday and Friday. Heaviest rain late Thursday night, but our numbers are going to be so warm it'll all be liquid for us. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Tyson Furniture.
Tyson Furniture has a fantastic selection of quality furniture, honest values, and great service. We deliver weekly to Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. Visit us at Tyson Furniture in Black Mountain, where beautiful homes begin.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic this time and go 26 eastbound between the Blue Ridge Parkway to Fanning Bridge Road. Haywood County 40 westbound stop and go between NC 215 and exit 27. Road maintenance here does have the right lane closed. Charlotte Highway westbound near Cedar Mountain Road, an accident here has the shoulder closed. On Cane Creek Road near Gap Creek Road, seeing delays both directions. Sweeten Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lynn Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by DuckDuckGo. Protect your privacy for free with DuckDuckGo.
I bought football tickets for my husband's birthday, and now I'm in a football bubble. All I see online are articles and ads about football. I hate feeling manipulated. I downloaded DuckDuckGo and saw a difference right away. Take back your privacy online with DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Sports Beat.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy. Welcome into the happy hour. Oh man, and I love Adam Black so much. You guys are all great.
I just
But
saw that
Adam,
coming.
oh my gosh. It's the music Joe Exotic plays to set the mood.
That's
Yikes.
not the music Joe Exotic sets. Joe Exotic has a song that he sets the mood with.
Only he doesn't say tiger.
Nope. Ends in ER. Doesn't say tiger.
Oh, welcome into the Monday edition, the Musicocracy Monday, where Jeremy and I are going to do our best to piss you off. And you're going to do your best to piss us off.
Oh, and somebody's going to succeed. There is no doubt about it.
Oh, 100%. Because we're talking overrated bands of all time. And I've got some doozies, and Jeremy's got some doozies. And there are going to be some feelings hurt. And look, we don't all have to agree on what's good and what's not good and what's overrated and what's not. It's just, okay?
But we do need to set some ground rules.
Okay, ground rules are?
No name calling.
Okay.
No swearing, because I can't control that. If you swear, they're going to mute you.
Right.
I cannot do anything about that. So if you tell somebody to, have sex with themselves, then, okay, you're going to get what the algorithm is going to give you.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, overrated bands under this umbrella, who gets more credit than the good of their music? I don't care about the climate at the time.
Uh-huh.
I don't care about the things you did outside of music.
Mm-hmm.
I only care about the tunes.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
And Tank has already managed to piss me off, and we haven't even actually gotten into this yet.
I've already managed. What did I do?
With your Nirvana Pearl Jam
Sorry.
slander.
I'm sorry.
Your Nirvana Pearl Jam slander is bullshit.
I firmly believe that Pearl Jam is overrated.
First of all, Pearl Jam, only band I know, wrote a song with my name in it.
Right.
So
I feel Nirvana is overrated. Huge fan, but I think they're overrated. Pearl Jam, to me, the 10 album, excellent. One of the best albums ever made, front to back, listen to it all the time. Here's my problem. Is that after that, Pearl Jam became the band that, they became like the 90s grunge generation's Grateful Dead. And I don't even kind of get it. Like, the whole Eddie Vedder thing was cool for a while. The mumbling of that, people made fun of me yesterday because I was talking about mumble rappers. Like, Eddie Vedder was a mumble singer. And I don't even kind of understand it. I say the same thing about Bob Dylan all the time, and people, you just don't understand Bob Dylan. No, he's an awful singer.
Oh,
Eddie Vedder, while he had his moments, I think they were just way too overrated. Like, I remember in the early 2000s, remember when they were doing all of their live performances came out on CD? And it was like you could get the one from Portland or Charlotte or wherever you saw them play. You could go buy their album. Like, I just never understood it. I never got it. To me, Pearl Jam, overrated.
All right, we have two of these. The first one is from Curtis Davis.
I'm your huckleberry.
This is an Avenged Sevenfold appreciation post. And I'm with you. You're not going to get any. There will be no Avenged Sevenfold slander from me. The vast majority of what I'm going to slander is old shit. Because I don't. Look, I live by a very simple credo. New is always better.
Okay.
Just like movies, okay? Now, if you, and let me just think of an example. Now you have a Batman movie with CGI.
Mm-hmm.
In the 60s, you had a Batman movie where they crashed the car into cardboard boxes.
Right.
Which one of those sounds better to you?
It's newer.
New is always better. And now this one, I'm actually going to use a sound for this one that I don't use very often.
Mm-hmm.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Karen Penland said Pink Floyd. And I'm, okay. I don't disagree with you.
Oh, I do.
I don't look. Okay, and I need to really explain something here. I don't do crimes, which means I don't smoke drugs.
Right.
Which means a lot of these bands are not really trying to get me.
Right.
Okay? The Grateful Dead. I could not name you one Grateful Dead song right now.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you what the bear looks like. I know that, but I don't know much else.
Mm-hmm.
You said Bob Dylan.
I did.
Jacob Dylan was a way better singer than Bob Dylan was.
No
His
doubt.
son
Not
was
even
a
close.
better singer than he was.
Not even close.
He was more iconic, but I don't really have a lot of, like, there's no real bangers from Bob Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that I'm like going to the gym going, oh, I got to throw on that Bob Dylan track. Kevin Vick in the comments said Led Zeppelin. I would have, and Def Leppard.
No.
Led Zeppelin. I kind of agree with you on Led
Stop
Zeppelin.
that.
Def Leppard, on the other hand, I saw Def Leppard live. And I was one of those that made the Def Leppard joke a billion times.
Mm-hmm. Oh, about the one-armed drummer?
What has 9 arms and sucks?
Yeah.
Def Leppard. But then I saw them live, and they were unbelievable.
Exactly. I'm completely out, not on either one of those. Led Zeppelin is untouchable.
Stephen Tao said the Wallflowers was Jacob Dylan. They were a one-hit wonder. They had a lot of songs.
They had four. They had 4.
3 Marlenas, 1 Headlight. There's always one I forget.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the Wallflowers, and I still do.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, after the first album, again, it was like it's more
I'm
of
trying to
the
keep
same.
up with the comments. This is tremendous.
Oh,
we
they
should
love
do
it.
way more of this.
They absolutely love it. And look, because everybody has an opinion and everybody can be right.
Stephen
you
Tao
can be
said
right
Drake.
in your own mind.
Stephen Tao said Drake, you win. Okay, we're done. Okay, we're free talking now.
Yeah.
Stephen Tao won.
Yeah.
Because Drake's the most overrated artist ever. I cannot stand him.
I only know like one of his songs.
Oh,
so
you ain't missing much.
Exactly.
Oh, they're large. I'm not going to lie. Adam Black has been bringing this fire literally since we threw this topic out, and he's 100% right. The Beastie Boys.
Stop it.
The Beastie Boys are awful. I mean, this is one of those that, like, okay, I can totally understand. The band that he's been teasing is that I'm going to say this about the Beatles because I do not understand why they were so damn popular. It was in the 60s. I wasn't born for 20 more years. So the social climate and all those things, and, oh, they were such pioneers, and I wasn't around for that. You know what I've been around for? The Yellow Submarine. But it's just God awful.
Not even kind of close.
It is so bad. So unbelievably God awful bad.
No way.
Somebody said Journey, and I'm not going to agree with you on that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
They were underrated, if anything.
Yeah. Anybody that had Steve Perry, like, that you just win.
Yeah.
That voice is, as somebody that was a singer, I can tell you right now, that's the hardest anthology of music in the history of singing.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
I actually know a guy that can do that.
Journey is not overrated by any stretch of the imagination. They just, I mean, they're a band that had so much range. They could rock and they could ballad. What?
It's Donnie and Marie. Sorry.
Right.
Karen Penland.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Best Def Leppard jokes: when a cougar's so old she has to have hearing aids, she becomes a Def Leppard. I like that a lot.
Excellent.
I'm gonna use that.
All right, so the goal here is what? To come up with a bracket?
We're going to come up with a 16-team bracket. We're going to pit them against each other.
Okay.
This will be a series of polls.
Okay.
We greatly encourage you to share these with your friends just to show them, you know, okay, it's not just a sports show.
Mm-hmm.
These two idiots talk about a lot of things, including their love of that new Pizza Hut pizza, which I somehow did not get into the ESPN radio show today, but I promise you I will tomorrow. We do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
There are just a handful of bands that, for me, they have to be in.
Okay. Nickelback's one.
See, Nickelback's not one for me. Nickelback's hated to such a point now that I almost feel like it balances itself out.
No.
Nickelback's become like a running joke.
Yeah.
Nickelback and Creed are the same band. By the way, have you ever seen Scott Stapp and Chad Kroeger in the same room? No, you have not.
No.
Because I'm not sure they're not the same spirit animal that has been thrust into different bodies.
I mean, come on. See, that's the one.
See,
when
Adam
you
Black
asked me, I didn't even mention Nickelback because, of course, that's the number one seed.
Well, Adam Black has it perfect. In order to be in this discussion, someone has to think they're good. Does anybody think Nickelback is good?
Yeah, of course they do.
Nickelback would cruise through this.
The Michael brothers. The Michael brothers are big. Josh and Aaron Michael are huge Nickelback fans.
Is that a way that we could piss them off?
Oh,
Can we?
100%.
I don't despise Nickelback. I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way to listen to it.
Mm-mm.
For me, there are 4 bands that have to be.
This is your time saver
every day.
Yep.
Blood, ear,
it was
every day. Let's just lather up past it. The Red Hot Chili Peppers have to be in this. 100%. They have to be in this.
I would agree.
They have some of the most irritating music I've ever heard.
Yeah, it depends.
Scott Cutshall just said another one of mine, and straight up, I will, if I have to, I will pull my name is on the door. This is going in. U2. U2 sucks something awful.
I mean, they don't, but
they're
okay.
Awful, and their lead singer is the most. Literally, I couldn't hit all of my fingers of any person that I've never met that I know I would hate. Like, I don't ever have to be in the same room with Bono to go, I would want to absolutely smack you open palm within 5 seconds.
But wait, I thought you said this wasn't about personalities or what you do off the mic or whatever. This is about the tunes. It's only about the tunes.
Yeah,
you said
and
that.
The tunes suck.
No, they don't.
They suck.
Come on.
They have one good song.
What is it?
With or Without You, it's it.
Stop that. Sunday, Bloody Sunday? You don't like that song?
Awful.
Oh, my gosh.
And the worst one, and here's why U2 has to be in. Because there was a time that every Android user had a U2 album forced upon them, and there was nothing you could do about it.
I thought that was Apple. I thought it was Apple.
No, it was Android, because I've always had Androids.
Okay.
You just opened your phone one day, and there was just an assault on your earlobes, and you didn't ask for it?
Yep.
Like, there was no fucking hashtags. There was nothing.
I thought that was an iTunes thing, but
just
whatever.
Awful. Awful.
Nah, U2 doesn't even belong in the discussion.
So that's 2 of mine that have to go in. The next one's really going to piss some people off, and I haven't told you this one yet.
Oh, God.
And I don't know if you're going to agree with me or not.
Okay.
Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you.
And I thought you might. That's why I didn't.
Look, again, I just have to say, this is not saying that we hate these bands. We can all enjoy music from these bands.
I have yet to
Bruce,
say a band.
You don't like anything from Bruce.
Nothing.
Glory Days, Streets of Philadelphia, Human Touch, none of it.
The best thing that he ever did was give us Courtney Cox. That is the best thing that Bruce Springsteen ever did.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Come on.
JT Money said it was an Apple thing. Maybe that happened when I worked for Verizon.
Yeah, maybe so.
I did have Apple products at one time, but I've always had my personal phone's always been an Android.
Mm-hmm. The best thing about Bruce Springsteen is Jimmy Fallon's impression of Bruce Springsteen.
And I'll be honest with you, I would rather listen to Jimmy Fallon sing Bruce Springsteen than hear Bruce Springsteen do it.
Mm-hmm. Man, it doesn't shock me. It doesn't shock me that you went there, but I'm gonna agree with you.
Curtis Davis says, I physically cringed when I saw the name U2. I'm not gonna lie, I did too. Wait a minute. Oh, Adam Black said, don't be a flaming liberal and act like you're for the common people. I didn't even factor that into it, and
talking about U2?
You said.
Talking about U2?
No, you said about Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, that's not why I want him on this list. I want him on this list because he is not good. Not good. There are so many unbelievable talents.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I'm not gonna lie, I have very weird, very eclectic musical taste. If you sat in the studio and listened to Jeremy's mix go through, you would go, that dude has at least 4 personalities. Because I can go from Keith Whitley to NWA like that. I mean, like not even a song in between them.
The hell's Keith Whitley?
And you say my opinion has no merit.
Yeah. Who the hell
Keith
is
Whitley
that?
was a country singer that died in the 90s, early 90s.
Never heard of
He was
him.
fantastic. Oh, he had a great voice. He had a very gravelly. I know you have heard at least 2 of his songs because one of them's been redone about 90 times.
I got to look it up, see if there's Keith Whitley. Oh, he does.
Well, it's 100% in there.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it. I mean, of
Rob
course, with
Johnson
Kiss Country in the building, there would be some country
Rob
music
Johnson
in there.
just heard you say you didn't know who Keith Whitley was, and the respect might have been lost. I think that's why he said that.
That's fine. I have no idea.
Oh, Keith Whitley.
Never heard of him. I'm looking at these song titles. I don't even know any of them.
When you say nothing at all,
Somebody's Doing Me Right.
Okay, I'm
no stranger to the rain.
Oh, that's a great song.
Hard Living.
I'm afraid of thunder, or is it any wonder lightning strikes me?
Miami. Again, country music goes over my head. I don't. I mean, you could say George Jones, and I'd go, okay. Which I know that's not true. I know he's one of the greatest, country icons of all time.
And he's got one of the great nicknames of all time.
But again, I got
the Possum.
I got one song. That I could probably give you. I'm sure I've heard more.
I could give you a lot of George Jones.
Right.
I'm the country one on this. Look, I am the furthest thing from country in real life, but I do love country music.
Mm-hmm. And the only reason I know one song by George Jones is because I know it was his, and somebody did it and did it way better than him, and it was Tennessee Whiskey.
Stephen Tao said one that I for the merit of this conversation, he ain't wrong.
Garth Brooks.
For the merit of this conversation, he's not wrong. I like Garth Brooks.
I can't go there. I know way many more Garth Brooks songs.
He's the highest paid act in the world.
Yeah.
Is he the best singer in the world?
No.
Overrated.
It's a great concert, though. It's a fantastic entertainer.
Is. I've actually seen.
Yeah.
I've seen Garth live.
He's an amazing entertainer. So
it was a while back, but
look, if I go to one of your concerts and I go, yeah, I kind of know Garth Brooks songs. And then I go and I wind up singing 10 of them because I know almost every word to them, and I don't listen to country music. That, to me, is a superstar. Keith Whitley, again, never heard of him.
So I have to admit, somehow we've been talking about this all day. We never actually Googled. Did you ever Google this to find a list?
No, I don't need a list to tell me what bands I think are overrated.
Yeah, but you don't want to miss any. I just found one that has Nirvana and the Foo Fighters at one, and that makes me want to fight everyone.
Bingo! Somebody mentioned the Foo Fighters in the comments as well, and sorry.
I think I'm gonna like this list.
Alex Majabi says, "I'm surprised Tank hasn't slandered Kendrick Lamar for the second time this week." Again, who?
Just. You can refer all hip-hop things to me, okay? Yeah. Anything that has really a beat or not a ukulele, you can forward that to me.
If it ain't the Sugar Hill Gang, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because his knowledge of that is, we'll say it's lacking. So I just pulled up a list from, this is rateyourmusic.com.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually did the poll that we're trying to do. This was, how long ago was this? It does not give me a date. They have Eazy-E at 24. I'm going to act like I didn't see that. So we're going to move past that because that wouldn't have gotten into the bracket anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The number one most overrated band of all time.
Yep.
They voted the Sex Pistols.
Disagree.
See, to me, they're not. I mean,
they're not popular enough. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, nobody was going to say that. I don't. I mean, I've yet to see that name.
No, I mean they were like godfathers of punk music. They're not overrated. They sparked the entire genre.
2 through 5. I want to see if you can get any of them. I'll give you a hint. We've talked about every single one of them.
We talked about every one of them. So Nickelback's in there.
Nope.
Creed.
Nope. Nickelback's 10. Creed is not in the top 25.
Not in the top 25? Jeez.
This was voted on by a lot of people.
A lot of people. Let me see. What are some
top 5?
What are some common ones that get said?
There's a reason that I'm asking this, because it's 4 that I don't like at all.
AC/DC.
They were up there. They're 8. God. Yeah, they're 8.
So misguided.
AC/DC is 8.
So misguided.
I love that Clay literally super chatted to say,
I'm your huckleberry.
Ron George is wrong about AC/DC.
Hell yeah, he is. I remember the maddest I have ever been at Ronnie George was when we were at the Social doing one of our early shows, and it was 7 o'clock in the morning, and he said some shit about AC/DC being overrated, and I went, I hate you now. That's not even kind of true. AC/DC is awesome, and I don't care that most of their songs all sound the same. They're awesome. And stop it. Not overrated. Give me the other 4. What are the other 4?
Alex Majabi, I'm going to answer your question. I'm to be really honest with you, I'm trying to remember how many faces are on Mount Rushmore, because I think it's 4.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 4?
It is.
Fuck. I wish it was 5. I could get to 5 real easy.
You could squeeze one on the side.
I could get to 5 real easy. Give me just a second and I'll answer that question.
Put a head down low like Step Brothers, kind of.
Alex Majabi asked, who is my hip-hop Mount Rushmore?
Mm-hmm.
Give me 60 seconds to decide between 2.
Okay.
Because I know 3 of them, but I got to decide between the other 2.
Right.
The top 5 list that I am looking at that was voted on by America.
Mm-hmm.
U2 is number 5.
Okay.
Pink Floyd is number 4. The Rolling Stones are number 3. And the Beatles are number 2.
That's awful.
Mm-hmm.
List nullified.
America voted,
and who did
they
this?
agree with me.
Who did this?
This was rateyourmusic.com.
Rateyourmusic.com.
So they did a poll of you could vote on any band.
I get it.
These are the ones that got the most thumbs downs. Now, however, they do have Lil Wayne at 17 and
bingo.
Okay, so this list does not do any form of rap, hip hop, anything like that. You are nullified, but for having Lil Wayne and Eazy-E and LL Cool J. Now I'm just starting to want to fight whoever made this list.
LL Cool J. I'll go down that path.
You are bad at
Overrated.
this game. You are absolutely
had one song. You had one song.
You had more than that.
Mama Gonna Knock You Out. That was it.
Of course, that's the only song you know.
Of course.
On a scale of 1 to 10,
Yeah.
and this is really going to tell me a lot about how much of your opinion I'm actually going to take in this at all.
Mm-hmm.
With 1 being Creed and 10 being, who's your favorite band all time?
Oh, God. Probably AC/DC.
Okay. With 1 being Creed and 10 being AC/DC,
Yeah.
where do you put the Beach Boys?
8.
If you put literally invalid. If you said a number over 2, you were wrong.
Stop that.
Awful.
Again.
Awful. Good Lord, that's awful. That's awful.
God. Why you just completely discount surf rock?
Awful.
It had its day and time.
Absolutely ungodly awful.
Wouldn't it be nice? Was one of the greatest ballads of all time.
Now, to answer the question I was asked of rate my Mount Rushmore.
Your hip-hop Mount Rushmore?
Dre is 1. Dre is 1 and Nas is 2. And that I didn't even think about that. That is, I've been asked this question before, and that is, to me, that is infallible.
Eminem's 3.
Eminem's 3, lyrically just unfreaking believable.
Mm-hmm.
Then it gets into a tough decision for me because everybody wants to go Tupac and Biggie. I'm not saying they're overrated because they're not. They unfortunately got cut short. Now, you can't tell the story of hip-hop without either of them.
No.
But I've always thought, like, all right, so let's give you an example off the top of my head. How are you going to put them ahead of Ice Cube? How in the hell are you going to put Biggie and Tupac ahead of Ice Cube?
You can't.
He's been doing it for 30 friggin' years.
Mm-hmm. You can't.
So he said do 5. So I'm. God, this is where this gets so fucking hard for me. All right, I'm gonna go Dre, Nas, Eminem, Ice Cube, and Snoop. And I don't love Snoop. Just throwing that out there. Love the person. Never totally loved the music, but you can't still tell the story of hip-hop without him.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not my 5 favorites, by the way.
Alex,
the one that, and I see a bunch of people going, you had me at Nas. That is my gauge. I already knew that he wouldn't be in his top 4. The reason I didn't ask him. If I ask you that question, you leave Nas out. I have invalidated anything you were about to say.
Mm-hmm. He was that good.
Oh, he's phenomenal. That is the one, like, low-key hip-hop. It's like the free space on the board to me. Because you could convince me of about 9 other people, and I would go, you know what? You got merit there. If you throw it Eazy-E in there. That's why I'm so pissed off he was on the other list.
Mm-hmm.
You threw him in there. Hell, you threw Kendrick Lamar in there. I get it.
On the Mount Rushmore?
I don't agree with you. He's closer than you think.
Oh, I have, again.
Hell, if you threw Kanye in there, and I didn't put Jay-Z in there, and I think you kind of have to, but I like the mogul side of him better than the actual.
See, this is
the
this is why I stay out of discussions about hip hop, because I don't listen to hip hop.
Oh, I do.
I mean, there are certain songs that I like, and I will listen to those songs over and over and over again. But I'm not discovering artists like Nas. I'm sure I've heard his music. I know I have.
Unless you just hate
but I can't.
Fun.
I can't recall it off the top of my head.
I discovered.
I spent all my time listening to the Beatles and the Beach Boys and the Rolling Stones and the rock music.
Crap.
Stop that.
It's all good. Crap. Curtis Davis asked about Wu-Tang. Here's the thing. If I'm doing groups, absolutely. Mine was about Rushmore, so it kind of has to be one face. But I'm a very large Wu-Tang fan.
You can't pick one face from the Wu-Tang Clan to put up there?
Well, I don't take bands. Hip-hop's different. I don't take groups in hip-hop. Mm-hmm. Just like Ice Cube. Ice Cube is on in my top 5, almost completely isolated from NWA.
Right.
NWA gets credit for that. But I'm taking him on some of his own merits as well. I literally could have this conversation by myself for the next 2 hours.
I'm sure you could. I am sure you could. Let's see here. All right, so we need to start formulating a list here. So I've got the 4 that you just mentioned have to be on the list.
Oh, don't worry, Stephen Tao. As soon as this is over, I'm going to blare Nas until I leave the studio. And there's another show going on in this building. I don't even kind of care. The fact that I know definitively he couldn't tell me one song means you are about to get an education, my friend.
All right. I mean, I'm down for it. I'm always open to new things. Let's see here. I lost the where's the beginning of the chat here? I was looking for the Avenged Sevenfold super chat from Curtis Davis. So we have Slayer, Megadeth, Five Finger Death Punch, Avenged Sevenfold. Rob Johnson threw those into the conversation. Do any of those belong on the list? I don't think so. I mean, I don't think Slayer's big enough to be on the list.
Slayer's big enough. It's just so niche-y.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with you. They're all overrated. Good God, there's so many Nickelbacks that they're going to have to go in. Nickelback is going to have to go in.
Again, they're a number 1 seed.
I haven't been on the Facebook page since we started the show, so I'm scrolling through some of these comments.
Frankie Cleary said Bon Jovi. I mean, I kind of agree with that.
Eddie Fox posted something the other day on social media that said John Bon Jovi's got to be like a 3/4 of the way there.
Oh, absolutely. Now, right? He's got to be. He's got to be by now.
There's a lot of Pink Floyd hate.
I mean,
there's a lot of Foo Fighters hate.
Pink Floyd is an easy one because I mean it's a very niche thing. I mean, if you're not a child of the 70s or you're not smoking pot, Pink Floyd's annoying as hell. My wife hates Pink Floyd.
I do too. See,
with a passion.
And see, that's where it kind of gets hard for me. I have the same problem with the stoner bands that you have with hip hop. I've never been a stoner, so I don't sit around and go Tool. I mean, it's fine. I'm not. I mean, if someone turn it on, I'm not going to turn it off. It's not the fucking Beach Boys, but I mean, am I going to seek it out? No.
I want to lock you in a room and make you listen to Surfing Safari.
I got news for you. You better have a real big chain or a real big gun. Because you put on the Beach Boys, I am secret out.
JT Money, where's a band like Metallica stand? Stop that.
Metallica was on the list.
No, sir.
They were on the list of overrated bands. Here are the ones that, all right, and anybody tell me where I'm wrong. Because I think every band I'm getting ready to say has to be on this list.
Okay.
The Beatles have to be on this list.
No.
You're arguing with every list that I have. I've pulled 6 since we've been sitting here. They've been in the top 5 of every one of them. As have the Rolling Stones, as have Pink Floyd. U2's been in the top 10 of every one of them. Dave Matthews Band, I can't agree with that. No. I saw somebody else say that earlier. Are they really that popular?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're popular. Okay, let me. I phrase that part.
Okay.
Are they really markedly more popular than the music merited? Because that's really the conversation here. I don't feel like Dave Matthews is. I mean, it's a very high-end act, and it would be an expensive ticket if you went to buy it. They had a lot of music. Now, granted, I played a lot, DJing weddings. They were, hell, you could just throw on a little Dave Matthews. That could be your whole dinner playlist.
Yep.
You can do a whole hour of nothing but satellite on Mars. I've seen me do it.
That's the best one. That's the best one yet.
I've seen me do it.
It's better than your Lou Holtz impression.
It's no better band than the
Dave Matthews Band.
That's the Dave Matthews Band. That's the greatest band of all time.
All right, who else? Dave Matthews not making it on the list for me.
And see, I don't think they can either. To me, this has to be. Oh God, there seems to be a lot of people against Metallica.
I don't know why.
I don't either. I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind Metallica. I'm going to be honest with you. I saw Metallica one time. And they got grossly outdone by Godsmack, who was their opener. Who became one of my favorite bands. They have, they have a lot.
They're great.
And then they disappeared into thin air, just like Creed.
No, Metallica's not going on the list.
Okay.
Kid Rock. 100%. I mean, that became the anthem for the trailer park for 5 years.
It still kind of is.
Well, that's true. I mean, is he still making music? Is he still putting out albums?
He just put out a new single last week.
Why?
I do not have a good answer to that. All right,
I mean,
you don't like any of the lists I have pulled up yet.
We're all good with Kid Rock?
Good God, I got to... who would you respect a list from? Oh, God. This list has Imagine Dragons at 25, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm probably not going to win you that list. If you think the Imagine Dragons were one of the 25 most overrated, they've had 4 songs. So if you think they're the most overrated, you probably, this list started in 2004.
Is this per year? Is this by year? They were the most overrated
I'll tell you
band
another
this
band
year.
I've seen a lot of is Maroon 5. A lot of people have said Maroon 5.
I don't understand that. I really don't.
Oh, I get it.
I like Maroon 5.
Holy shit. The second page of most overrated bands of all time is literally nothing but Pink Floyd. Kind of shocking.
Is this Pink Floyd over and over again?
It was a lot of pages that had Pink Floyd tagged in it.
Oh.
How in the world? Adam Black, yes, that wasn't Charlotte. How in the world are we going to pare this down to 16?
Let's see. Kevin Vick, stop that. I just saw his Nickelback's greater than Led Zeppelin. You need new ears.
Rob Johnson said Korn. I'm going to be honest with you. If this was my 16 seeds, Korn would easily be in this field. Matthew Hoffman. That's the thing is we have to take our objectivity out of this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we get a few each. Who are your four that are like guaranteed to get in? We're using the name on the door.
Guaranteed get in. Green Day. I mean, I'm a huge fan, but again, it's like AC/DC. Like, I understand because it's the same song, same beat, over.
Oh, I'm going to tell you one.
Mm-hmm.
It'll piss people off. It's not one of mine, but Blink-182.
I don't even think they qualify. I don't believe at any time Blink-182 was as big as any of these other bands that we're talking about.
Double.
I'm your huckleberry.
For Classic Clay, I see many opinions made by a single song or album the band released. I don't think that makes the band overrated in full. My favorite band has the most overrated song ever made, Don't Stop Believing.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a term for that song my entire life, and I can't say it.
Was something political related?
No.
Was this a dig at Bill Clinton because he used it for this campaign?
No, I didn't know that until you just said that, but it makes it make way more sense. Okay, I'm going to say this as politically correct as I can.
Mm-hmm.
When that song comes on, look at who gets really excited. And they tend, not all, many, to have something in common with Tank and I.
Fat people?
You'll never unsee it.
That only fat people like Journey?
No,
is that what
that's
you're saying?
not what I said. That is not what I said. Drunk white girl song. There. Thank you, Matthew Hoffman. I was pussyfooting around it, and you just jumped right on it. Yeah, it is the drunk white girl song. That is
drunk white girl song.
Exactly where I was trying to head with that, and I could not find a judicious way to do it. You did it for me, and for that, I thank you.
Okay.
I have had more aggressive underarms come at me asking me to play Don't Stop Believing than you can shake a stick at.
Aggressive underarms.
I mean, just a lot of jibbity.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
just waving the flaps at you.
Yeah.
Mr. DJ, play that song.
It was actually just like that.
See?
Yeah, if he wasn't wearing a hoodie, you would have seen it perfectly. I mean, PhD does wonders that don't get rid of everything.
Yeah, no, loose skin's one of those things that it's hard to bounce back from quickly.
Karen Penland said maybe that's why I love Don't Stop Believing. God, I love you. You're one of my favorite people just on this planet.
Good for you, Karen.
Adam Black.
I'm your huckleberry.
Aerosmith is overrated. Dream On is the only good song, and it doesn't sound like Steven Tyler. I can't disagree with what he just said.
Oh, I do. I love Aerosmith.
Of course you do. You know what? If I had met you on the street, I would have gone, I think I like Aerosmith.
Mm-hmm.
And wears t-shirts with wolves on them.
The earlier stuff more than the 90s ballads where Alicia Silverstone was in every fucking video that they had. Crazy.
I'm going to keep asking this question until somebody gives me a, it's awful.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep asking this question until somebody gives me an answer. How in the hell are we going to pare this list down? Because Rolling Stone has never done a list of this.
Mm-hmm.
But there seem to be a slew of bands that are on every one of these.
Okay.
AC/DC has been on every list I've seen.
Yep.
Blink-182 has been on every list I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, another one of mine.
Yep.
Metallica has been on every one. Guns N' Roses has been on every one. And U2 has been on every one.
Metallica, really?
I agree with it.
Again, I think that's got to do with a lot of the, because they turn pop, so to speak.
Sports Brian Hall's answer of Coldplay. That's the first time I've seen them make an appearance.
Coldplay is a good one.
Somebody put the Eagles. Stop that.
Taylor Swift.
Stop.
Taylor Swift. We saw that a lot. Is that just because we don't like her, or is it because every song sounds the same? Because you wore that damn shirt,
none of us can get the vision of it out of our heads.
Well, I apologize.
It's like watching a car wreck. You just can't get the image out of your brain.
I'm sorry. So, Taylor Swift, we putting her on the... Somebody else mentioned Adele. I can't get down with that.
I can't either.
I love her so much.
Adele's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Her voice is phenomenal.
Scott Cutshall said a band that I was really hoping somebody said.
Who'd he say?
Rush.
Oh. Get him, Clay. Clay really ain't gonna like that one.
Mean guy.
Yikes.
Yeah, not good. I don't like Rush at all. Adam Black put Taylor Swift in the band. And see, that's where this gets hard because Bruce Springsteen's technically not a band either.
I mean,
because the E Street
he does have
band,
the E Street band.
Yeah, it ain't them I'm mad at.
It's Bruce and his gravelly voice.
Bruce and the fact that he sounds like he's been gargling with gravel.
On the streets of Philadelphia.
Oh, that and the fact that every song he's ever sung sucks. That's not helping my sheer hatred of him
Your
either.
sheer hatred. Nah, I mean, Aerosmith, really?
There's been a good amount of Aerosmith.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we can put them on the list.
Well, I mean, here's the thing with underrated bands. I mean, you can't throw out. I'm trying to think of a low-level band. You can't throw
Blink
out
182.
Blink 182. I've seen them. They still draw. Well, they did still draw aggressively.
That's what I was going to say. Still? I don't think so.
Yeah. That wasn't that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was a few years ago. I feel like Metallica has to be on. I'm starting to think Green Day has to be on because they've been on damn near every list I've seen.
Oh yeah, I've got them on the list here.
There's one that I think I just saw one that would have broken Clay's brain.
Oh dear.
Somebody had Genesis at 4.
Genesis
at 4. That's really high.
I can't get there. I can't get there with Genesis.
Kiss. That's
Kiss.
one. Kiss is one of Tanks.
I forgot about Kiss.
Yeah, Kiss is one of Tanks.
Look, I understand you. It's the greatest marketing ploy ever. But musically speaking, come on. Detroit Rock City is a great song. Rock and Roll All Night and Party Every Day. We've all heard it 8 billion times. To me, again, greatest marketing plan ever. You made this thing last forever, and you're still selling out concert shows through your farewell tours to all of the people who have been duped by your makeup and blood spitting. But your music ain't that great. There's a time and a place. I like Kiss from time to time.
I can get down with Kiss being on this list.
I think Kiss needs to be on the list.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question just simply because I have seen this name on a slew of these lists and I have never heard of it. What the hell is a Bon Iver?
Oh,
or Bon Iver.
Bon Iver. Yeah,
I don't know what that is, but it's been on every list.
Some French guy. Or girl. Or I'm not really
have
sure.
No clue.
The only Bon I know is Bon Jovi.
I think you know Bon pretty well, but
these things are delicious.
Yes. Still making fat jokes. Ain't lost that much weight yet there, Puddin'.
Not yet. You're
all right, doing great, but you ain't there yet.
So good to see we had some agreement on the Kiss thing. Let's see, who else? Iron Maiden. Yeah, but I mean, that was more of a stage show to me, more than the music, anything, you know.
How many are you keeping a list?
I am keeping a list.
How many do we have?
I have 7, 10, 14. So I got 2 more spots if we're just doing a 16 team.
So recite the list.
I've just kind of been plotting them here in like a bracket form kind of. So I've got one quadrant is Nickelback, Nirvana, Rolling Stones, then U2, Bon Jovi, Kid Rock, Red Hot Chili Peppers, the Beatles, Green Day, and Aerosmith. Bruce Springsteen, Pink Floyd, AC/DC, and Kiss. Who did I leave off?
Oh, hold on. What the hell?
Matthew Hoffman throws out Disturbed. I don't feel like, historically speaking, they belong in the discussion with these other bands. And I'll agree to disagree, but Warrant and Poison. I think it's basically all 80s music. All 80s hair metal, you could just give them their own entry.
Classic Clay said, is Fleetwood Mac overrated? For
No.
me, yes.
Hell no.
Because Stevie Nicks sounds like a bleeding goat.
Stop that. She's an angel.
The landslide brought me down.
You stop that.
And I've been
Stevie Nicks saves lives with her voice. You stop that.
Yeah, 10 can live. Sounds like a fucking bleeding goat.
Rob Johnson.
That's one that I'm telling you right now, you will get no pushback from me.
Rob Johnson said Black Sabbath. That's completely false. There's no shot to them being overrated. Excuse me?
I'm not going to disagree.
You're going to have to explain that one.
I like old, doesn't know where he is Ozzy better than, biting heads off bats and shit. I'll be honest with you, I didn't like an Ozzy Osbourne song until about 5 years ago.
What?
That album he did with Post Malone, that was some quality shit.
That was like 2 years ago.
All right, maybe it hadn't been as long as I thought.
Right. Come on, man.
Classic Clay said you should hear how she sounds now. I don't doubt that at all. I never really thought that voice was going to age well.
Mm-hmm. Boy bands got some shout-outs in the comments. Backstreet Boys, NSYNC.
Those are still bangers. You just calm down.
You stop that. Backstreet Boys, yes. NSYNC, not a chance.
Stop.
It's the greatest boy band ever beside the Beatles.
You still hear those songs and just nod along. Don't lie to me.
Never a Backstreet fan. Never. I used to make fun of Scott Cutshaw because he had he dyed his hair blonde or bleached his hair blonde.
You were never an NSYNC fan.
No, Backstreet. Backstreet sucks.
You're wrong. Good
What?
Lord, you're awful on that. Backstreet was far superior.
You're insane.
Far superior.
Oh, yeah. You loved 98 Degrees, too, didn't you?
No, but I revered their lead singer for finding a way to convince Jessica Simpson to marry him.
And there's some merit to that.
And then I saw her open her mouth, and I went, oh. Well, not a rocket surgeon, are you?
Smashing Pumpkins. Stephen Towle. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah, Smashing Pumpkins, way overrated. Bullet with butterfly wings, and then after that, a bunch of whiny bullshit.
I am still just a rat in a cage.
See, that was the good song.
Awful. Oh, I saw them in Asheville. Oh, do you remember when they did a 3-day tour?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And they bitched about
hottest ticket in town. No, thank you.
Scott, apparently Scott agreed with me on Backstreet Boys because he commented, and who was a virgin longer? Keep it up.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Adam Mike said Timberlake's an amazing live show.
There you go.
I mean, look, I ain't trying to throw shade at neither one of them. I'm just saying, all right, you Backstreet's back, all right?
Stop that. Limp Bizkit. Glad they got a mention.
Oh yeah, Limp Bizkit could totally be on this.
I'm glad they got they got a mention here.
I mean, and that's totally my bias because Fred Douche is just not somebody I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
Could be the nicest guy on the planet Earth. I would have absolutely no idea.
Pan says Godzilla. I don't know what Godzilla is.
I don't know that one.
Is that a Polish band? Is that
could be?
I don't know. I'd love to know. I'll check it out. But I've never
Karen
heard of
Penland
Godzilla.
said best boy band is Duran Duran. It's not close. Are they considered a boy band?
I don't know.
I didn't feel like we had boy bands until the 90s.
Yeah,
like New Kids on the Block was that was really the first one.
Well, no, I mean the original boy bands were Rolling Stones, the Beatles, the Monkees.
Bad. Keep going. You ain't gonna lie. I mean, fourth verse, same as the first.
You just keep saying it. It makes you wrong every time you say it, but that's fine.
Insane Clown Posse. They were awful. That's another group I just never even kind of understood it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like why. But why? There's so much good music. Why would you put an assault on your ears?
I can't say anything. I liked the Insane Clown Posse at one point. I did. I had one of their albums.
That might be the least surprising thing you have ever said to me.
Yep. I went through a phase.
All right, so
I apologize.
All right, so here's how I think we do this. All right, there are 8 bands that I think we have to put in.
Okay.
Fact or fiction?
Yeah, fact.
There are 8 we have to put in.
Mm-hmm.
We have play-in games for the other 8 spots.
Okay.
I think that's the solution.
Okay.
Because there's about 24 bands that from the list that I am tentatively keeping over here. Appears there's about 24 that seem like they're getting enough merit that we have to put them in.
Okay.
And everybody's saying we should do this by a bracket.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's what we'll do. We'll put similar bands against each other.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I think Nickelback's in.
Of course they are.
The Beatles are in.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't give a fuck what else happened. As long as the Beatles are on this list, I don't really care. Because I want them to win, and I think they will.
They're not gonna. And if they do, y'all are all morons.
I think they will.
Not a chance. Okay, so who are we throwing on the list? Give us the list.
Well, you just gave the rundown of the list.
I gave you 14. That's all I got.
You gave 14, and I don't remember who they were, if I'm being really honest.
All right, so you said you were keeping the list over there, so give me your list.
Oh, I have a list. Oh, boop. All right, so in the order that I have put them on here, Green Day,
mm-hmm.
the Beatles,
mm-hmm.
Bob Dylan. We haven't decided what we did with individual artists. This has to be band, right?
I would say so.
Okay, so
Bob Dylan
is struck. Nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
Limp Bizkit.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm going to champion that cause, but I feel like I should.
Limp Bizkit goes in the trailer park category with Kid Rock.
I'll allow that.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that holds water. Kiss.
Okay.
Foo Fighters.
Okay.
I never know. I don't know what we did with Maroon 5.
I don't know. I mean, is that a popular one on all of the lists? Maroon 5.
Maroon 5's on damn near every one of these lists I've seen.
Are they? Okay. We'll put them on there.
I mean, that's what I'm bouncing between now to see who am I just seeing constantly. Fleetwood Mac. After that was put out there, I can't not have them in this.
Wrong. But okay.
You're going to get Pearl Jam in there. I have a funny feeling.
Yes.
The Foo Fighters.
I did not have them on my list originally.
Bon Jovi was said enough times that I think we have to give them some merit.
Yep.
The Sex Pistols have been on every list I've seen. I do not hate that band. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't care about that band enough to. I don't know that I could name one of their songs off the top of my head.
You probably can't. Anarchy in the UK is the best
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Known. Yep.
How many do we have now?
You've said 10.
How many are different than the list that you had?
Let's see. I also have Nickelback.
Just read the whole list.
Okay.
And we'll see if we're missing anybody.
Nickelback, Rolling Stones, Nirvana, Foo Fighters, U2, Bon Jovi, Kid Rock, Limp Bizkit, Pearl Jam, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Beatles, Green Day, Aerosmith, Fleetwood Mac, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band.
I'm not averse to putting it in there that way because I really don't like Bruce Springsteen.
Pink Floyd, AC/DC, Maroon 5. So that's one.
While he's counting that,
I'm your huckleberry.
Matthew Hoffman said Sublime, and I'm not afraid to stand my ground.
That's 19. So we need 5 more.
In theory, we need 5 more.
Mm-hmm.
So who are we currently missing?
Let me see. Let's go. Sublime, not going to happen.
I kind of like Sublime.
I do too. Pan said Gorillaz was the one that he was trying to get to, and he misspelled it. And good for you. That's Scott. That's low. That's low. Don't do that. Don't take shots.
What shot? I missed it.
He threw out the Nighthawks. It's a blues band that's family friends of ours.
Oh yeah.
Let's see who else we got here.
I'm your huckleberry.
Adam Black said if Tank loses a bet, he has to dress full on Juggalo.
Oh, I would do it too.
I don't know what that means.
Insane Clown Posse. I got to paint my face up like Violent J or Shaggy 2 Dope. One of the two.
You do kind of look like what I always imagined the lead singer of that shit looked like.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Doop-a-doop. Bush. How about that? Bush.
I liked Bush.
Really?
Yeah. Classic said Black Eyed Peas. Or Rascal Flatts. Havoc said Black Eyed Peas.
Soundgarden.
Which one was Soundgarden?
That's not
I remember
Cornell.
Savage Garden.
Chris Cornell.
Oh, yeah, I'm not listening to any Chris Cornell slander.
The Dixie Chicks.
I can tell my brain's starting to cook because I've actually seen Soundgarden twice, and I asked, wait.
Rob Johnson says The Police. With Sting.
You had the Red Hot Chili Peppers, right?
I do.
Okay.
I have
them.
been
Like they're getting in here.
Genesis.
I just don't feel like Genesis belongs.
Nah.
Matthew Hoffman.
I'm your huckleberry.
Shout out to Tank for knowing everyone's name from Insane Clown Posse. I was actually thinking the same thing.
There you go.
You knew that from WCW, didn't you?
I did. That's where it came from.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
ECW.
Oh, they were in both.
Right, but it started seeping into the ECW thing, and then I got in it with the Great Malenko album, and then I never listened to him after that.
Frankie Cleary said The Who. I could get down with The Who.
No. Should we put them on the list?
I'm not averse
We'll put them in the Pink Floyd category.
I'm not averse to on the list.
The
Who.
Aerosmith.
Yeah, you don't have Aerosmith.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got Aerosmith.
You know, in fairness, we could just put out the list and ask who are we missing.
We got 21 so far.
Yeah, that gives us 3 spots.
So we need 3
more
more
spots, so I can just make the list and put it out tomorrow.
Okay.
Of who are we missing?
Blink-182 has been mentioned, and I still think they're not big enough to be to be
you're
on
wrong.
this. Really?
Oh,
you think Blink-182 is on the level of a Foo Fighters or an Aerosmith?
God. Blink-182 was the headliner at Carolina Rebellion. The headliner.
Yeah.
The headliner. And I
It's the shittiest concert ever.
I want to say they were there with, I think they were the headliner over Led Zeppelin. Or not Led Zeppelin.
I was going to say they wasn't
Def Leppard.
Over Def Leppard. Only because at the
have
time.
my years mixed up there.
I was going to say, what was this, 2003?
No.
2005?
This was in the 2000 double digits.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're underselling Blink-182.
I don't even kind of get it. All the small things came out, and everything else was trash after that. They even did that thing where they broke up, and dude went and did the boxcar racer thing, and I didn't get any of it. I tried, and I didn't get none of it.
Yeah, I didn't try. I did not go to that concert for them. They just so happened to be there.
Mm-hmm. Matthew Hoffman says they need to be on here. So
I agree. I kind of agree.
All right, we'll put them on here. Blink-182.
All right, so we got 2 spots left.
Yep.
So basically, I'm gonna put the list out in the morning, and we'll have 2 write-in spots, and that'll just be majority rules. Whatever gets the most votes.
Okay.
Put them on there.
All right.
But I think we got every other crap band that we've talked about. There's a lot of bad music that people really like.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
The Beatles.
Nas.
You don't know who it is, so that kind of deflates your argument when you've already said you don't know who the fuck it is. And anybody that listens to hip hop just immediately went, "Yeah, that fool doesn't know shit."
No, don't know shit about fuck.
Damn it, I was about to say it. He went full Ozark.
Yep, don't know shit about fuck.
You don't know shit about fuck.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we'll put this out. We'll see who else winds up on the list. Here's My Chemical Romance is coming in.
That's like everything in that era was kind of, how do I say that? It was so niche-y.
Mm-hmm. It was like Hoffman just throws out Trapped. That was another one of those, one song they were done after an album.
Were they?
I think they were. POD.
Rob Johnson said, "I will vote for the Beatles every time." That's why you and I get along. Frankie Cleary said Leonard Skinner. That
you
I just go ahead and tell you.
You ain't from around here, are you?
He actually is. Yeah, he is.
All right. Anyway, 9 Inch Nails.
I
That's
wouldn't.
actually not a bad one.
I wouldn't be averse to that.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. Anyhow, we will talk. This
has been fun. An hour of just talking shit about bands.
Yeah, exactly. We will get into.
And I got 3 minutes of hip hop into this too. You know what? That's growth. And he only said 2 dumb things about hip hop in the course of the hour. So.
Just give me time.
I only died a little on the inside.
What, when I slandered Nas?
Yep.
I apologize.
I will fight you like a man.
I was just trying to hurt your feelings because you hurt my feelings with the Beatles. And
I'm your huckleberry.
I'm going to listen. Classic Clay said, "I'm going to listen to every band tonight that I disagree with. Insert middle finger here."
Yeah. You show us, Clay.
Stephen Towle said, "Sweet Home Alabama should only be played in Alabama."
Bingo.
I'm not going to disagree with that. As somebody that sings a song based on a state a lot.
See, that's one of those I just stay away from that song. You stay away from that song, there's still 38 more to enjoy over and over with Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, the thing about Leonard Skinner is that the vast majority of the songs of theirs that I liked are the ones that people don't play into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sweet Home Alabama and Freebird.
Stop it. Don't need them. Skip them. Listen to The Needle and the Spoon. Or Give Me 3 Steps.
I'd rather listen to
Saturday Night Special. I could do this all night long.
I'd rather listen to The Needle slide across the record. Just...
Rather than what?
Freebird.
Oh, Freebird.
Freebird's the worst. People at karaoke shows, "I want to sing Freebird." No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you think you do. And I'm not going to let you, but good for you.
Rob Johnson said he's just glad nobody mentioned Van Halen or Judas Priest.
I saw Van Halen once. I have not seen Judas Priest one time.
Mm-mm.
I did see Van Halen on a list, and I went, I don't know that I agree with that.
Nope.
I don't think I can get down with that.
Not even a chance. All right, we'll put these out on social media. We will be back with you tomorrow on ESPN Asheville, right here in the Sportsocracy, of course, on YouTube at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. We will do – what do we got tomorrow's? Tomorrow's happy hour is what do we do on Tuesdays?
We usually do top 13s.
Top 13 Tuesday. Good for you. Way to think on your feet there, bud.
What position do we want?
We've already said we're going to hold edge rushers till the end. Mm-hmm. So running backs? We haven't done running backs.
I can do running backs.
I think we should do running backs.
Are you sure we haven't done running backs?
I don't think so. We did wide receivers. We did quarterbacks.
Oh, no. I talked about one of the running backs that's going to be on my list. With the Chase Claypool list.
Mm-hmm.
I waxed poetic about him for quite some time.
Yep. So we'll do running backs tomorrow. Top 13 running backs in the 2022 NFL Draft. And, of course, all the other things going on in the sports world coming up at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. Enjoy the music tonight. I'm sure everybody's got a little...
As long as it's not the Beatles.
You got a little bee in your bonnet. Oh, I'm listening to the Beatles as soon as we're done here. I'm getting in my car. I'm going to put in my Beatles tape. That's right. I said it. Honest to God, there is one in my tape deck right now. You're in the Sportsocracy, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.